Chapter 61 Terminator. Chen Yu was awakened by the AI early in the morning. After a night of manufacturing, the first batch of simulation robots was complete. The 20 naked men descending from the landing craft were the first batch of robots created by the AI. Chen Yu, still bleary-eyed, arrived in the garden, only to see 20 naked men, instantly snapping him awake. Holy crap! Where the hell did all these naked guys come from, and why do they all look exactly like the Governator? Captain, these are the first batch of simulation robots produced last night. I'm telling you, AI, you've watched too many movies. You made all their faces exactly like the Terminator T-800. Are you afraid people won't recognize them as robots? I admit I didn't think that through. Last night, I researched the most famous robot image from your Earth movies, and this is what came out. Chen Yu was speechless. Never mind. Let's keep these 20 for now. Anyway, I didn't plan on having them show their faces in public. Okay, Captain. For the robots I create next, I will use AI to give each of them a different face. Yet. Next, Chen Yu took the 20 naked men inside the house, then went to the mall with Little Clip to buy dozens of black suits, and of course, sunglasses. Back home, he had all these Terminators change into them. The aura instantly changed. These 20 Terminators standing there could scare the crap out of anyone. In the afternoon, Chen Yu received a call from CAO Guangde. Hello, General CAO. Chen Yu, the investigation team we sent to the border between Vietnam and Yangtze has sent back news. The unidentified creatures invading the border are very likely the modified humans who attacked the base. The deaths of the border guards who sacrificed themselves are basically the same as those of the soldiers who sacrificed themselves in the military region. Oh. So, those modified humans forced their way in from the Vietnamese border. Yes, but it is not yet known whether they will continue to flee Yangtze from the Vietnamese border. General CAO, leave this to me. I will catch those modified humans. I connected to and hacked a US military communication satellite. They sent a location and instructions to a receiver within Yangtze, which, according to analysis, should be the escape location for the modified humans performing the mission. Oh. Where is it? It's on the border between Yangtze and Vietnam. Could it be that they really want to return the same way? Humph, this time, let's see who can escape. Prepare the landing craft, I'm going to meet these modified humans. Late at night, a container truck quietly stopped on the road closest to the border between Yangtze's Nanjiang province and Vietnam. 5 burly giants climbed out of the container. These were the American modified humans who had just escaped from Donghai City. After escaping Donghai City, they quickly met up with the waiting American spies and traveled here in a container truck. After the 5 modified humans got out of the truck, the container truck left alone. The leader of the modified humans waved his hand, and the others quickly darted into the forest, heading towards the border. After the modified humans entered Yangtze and killed more than a dozen border guards, Yangtze strengthened its defenses on the border between Nanjiang province and Vietnam. These modified humans will have to go through a fierce battle to break through. Yangtze, Zhongcheng. At 4 o'clock in the morning, Chen Yu's phone suddenly rang. He quickly picked up the phone and answered. Chen Yu, the target has appeared. The modified humans are on the border between Nanjiang province and Vietnam, CAO Guangde said on the phone. Oh. Good, General CAO, I will make them pay the price. What are you going to do? I have my own way. After hanging up the phone, Chen Yu and Little Clip quickly changed their clothes. Arriving in the living room, 20 Terminators were standing there. Chen Yu waved his hand, and the 20 Terminators followed behind him, boarding the landing craft that had been cloaked and parked in the garden. The hatch closed, the landing craft slowly ascended, and then flew towards Nanjiang province. At this moment, the border of Nanjiang province was brightly lit. The ground was ablaze with fire, and the gunfire was dense. After the previous invasion incident, Yangtze focused its defenses on the border, and many anti-material large-caliber weapons were also equipped. The border guards were currently in a stalemate with these 5 modified humans. We must end the battle as soon as possible, break through, and avoid reinforcements from these Yangtze border guards. The modified humans took out the M16 assault rifles on their backs and charged out together. The ordinary small-caliber bullets of the Yangtze border guards had basically no effect on these modified humans. Only large-caliber anti-material sniper rifles could pose a threat to the modified humans. These modified humans were also very clever. They never stopped and shot while running. It was difficult for the border guards' large caliber weapons to aim at them. Just as these modified humans were about to break through the encirclement, several beams of light suddenly lit up in the sky, illuminating the forest below as bright as day. Chen Yu's landing craft had arrived. Under the cover of the strong light, it was difficult for the people below to see clearly what was above. AI, lock onto those modified humans. Chen Yu thought for a moment. He only needed to issue an order now, and a volley from the landing craft's laser cannons would turn these modified humans into powder. However, Chen Yu wanted to test the combat power of his Terminators. You, go down and capture them alive. Yes, Master. 20 Terminator simulation robots jumped out of the landing craft's hatch, a full tens of meters high. Then Chen Yu saw below that his Terminators landed steadily on the ground, smashing out large pits. However, the Terminators were not harmed at all, and quickly burst out, rushing towards the 5 modified humans. Chen Yu had just greeted General Cao, asking him to have his men hold back for the time being. The border guards saw a dozen or 20 people jumping down from the unidentified flying object in the sky. Then they rushed towards those modified humans. Captain, are these our Yangzia's modified humans? They jumped down so high and are actually okay? A soldier asked the captain next to him. I don't know, I can't see clearly either, but the superiors told us not to move for now, let's just watch. 20 Terminator robots surrounded the 5 modified humans. When they saw that those surrounding them were 20 identical Terminators, the leader of the modified humans couldn't help but exclaim. Holy crap! Are these Terminators? Schwarzenegger? The Governator? Could it be that they are here to save us? Because Terminator was an American movie, these modified humans instinctively thought that they should be here to save them. However, in the next moment, several American modified humans were dumbfounded. Chapter 62. The 5 cyborgs thought that these governors, who looked almost identical to Americans, were coming to save them. But the next moment, a Terminator robot rushed up, grabbed the gun of one of the cyborgs, and yanked it forcefully. The force was so great that it tore the M16 assault rifle in half. Only then did the 5 cyborgs realize that these identical Terminators didn't seem to be there to save them. The Terminators were starting to attack them. Bang! Bang! 2 muffled sounds. 2 cyborgs, over 2 meters tall, were sent flying more than 10 meters by punches from the roughly 1.9 meter tall Terminators. Damn it, these guys aren't here to save us, they're here to catch us, let's fight, brothers. Several cyborgs, holding their M16s, opened fire on the Terminators. The bullets hit the simulated skin of the Terminator robots, only causing sparks to fly, but the simulated skin was also torn to shreds. Revealing the gleaming metal skeleton inside, the cyborgs were immediately shocked. Ah, these aren't humans, they're robots. Could these be robots made by Yangzia? How could they have such advanced technology? Impossible. Several cyborgs fought the Terminators while cursing that Yangzia couldn't possibly have such technology. Soon, the bullets carried by the cyborgs were used up, but none of the Terminator robots fell. Only the simulated skin on their bodies was shot off in many places, making them look terrifying. Fight them! We are gene-modified warriors, how can we be afraid of these robots? The cyborg leader shouted and charged into the Terminator crowd. However, the cyborgs who could lift 3-ton pickup trucks with one hand were useless against the Terminator robots. Because the robots were even stronger than them. Moreover, the internal skeleton of the robots was made of super strong alloy, making it almost impossible for the cyborgs to cause damage to the robots with their bare hands. Then, they saw several Terminators unilaterally and violently beating the cyborg leader. Bang 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 bang! The cyborg leader was beaten black and blue, with multiple fractures all over his body, until finally his thick legs were snapped in half by the robots. The cyborg leader let out a miserable scream. This scene terrified the remaining 4 cyborgs, these monsters had encountered even more terrifying monsters. At this time, the Yangzia border defense soldiers, who had been watching from a distance, dared to approach. Then, they saw a strange scene, only to see 5 cyborgs, beaten beyond recognition, lying together, extremely miserable. Ah, these sons of bitches have been subdued, those must be our Yangzia super warriors. After Chen Yu returned to the villa, he immediately received a call from Cao Guangde. Chen Yu, just now in Nanjiang province, an elite force descended from the sky, they beat those cyborgs into serious injuries. Those were the people you sent, right? That's right, General CAO. Ah. Could it be that you also mastered the technology of gene modification? No, you're thinking too much. Those aren't people, they're a kind of combat robot I developed. What? Robots? CAO Guangd was even more shocked to hear about robots than gene-modified humans. As a general, he could keenly discern what kind of technology could become a war weapon. The robots developed by Chen Yu could turn those cyborgs into such a state, proving that Chen Yu's robots were even more powerful than the cyborgs. If these robots could be mass-produced and equipped in the Yangzia army, equipping such a robot legion, wouldn't they be invincible on the battlefield? Chen Yu, you are truly a genius. Hehe, General CAO, you are joking, I just designed it casually. After hanging up the phone with Chen Yu, CAO Guangd immediately reported the matter to Yan Jing. America, the Pentagon. A staff member rushed into Roger's office, looking somewhat anxious. Minister, the cyborgs we sent have lost contact. Rogers widened his eyes. What? How is that possible? According to the last voice message sent back by the cyborg captain, they were attacked by Terminator T-800. Rogers looked dumbfounded. Terminator T-800? Isn't that a character from the movies? You should listen for yourself, the last recording sent back by the cyborg captain. The staff member took out a playback device and clicked it open. Ah, what are these ghosts? Ah, they are Terminator T-800 robots, ah. So many T-800s, they are so strong, ah. Rogers was even more dumbfounded after listening. Terminator T-800 robots? What the hell is going on? Rogers was furious. Minister, those cyborg warriors have already been captured by Yangzia, do we need to implement the self-destruct program? Only then did Rogers come back to his senses. Yes, immediately send the self-destruct program signal, we can't let those cyborgs reveal that it was America who did it. Okay, Minister. Rogers didn't feel bad either, he had successfully destroyed all of Yangzia's bullet-headed aircraft, so what did the loss of a few cyborgs matter? Yangzia, a secret detention location in the Nanjiang military region. CAO Guangd had already rushed over, he wanted to personally interrogate these cyborgs. During the interrogation, these cyborgs all suddenly experienced brain death at the same time. Finally, the autopsy revealed that a microbomb was installed on their cerebellums. Once detonated, these cyborgs would immediately experience brain death. This should be the self-destruct program set in their bodies by the organization that manufactured these cyborgs. Damn it! These hateful Americans! They actually created such monsters. CAO Guangd cursed at the corpses of these cyborgs. After venting his emotions for a while, he instructed the military region's scientists to take blood and gene samples from these cyborgs. Now that they had obtained these corpses, the Yangzia military had to study them. Chen Yu sent the Terminator robots with damaged skin back to the moon for repair. And a new batch of simulated robots was sent over, this time with the faces of Yangzia people, and each one looked different. In this way, these simulated robots would not be suspected of being robots when they went out to perform tasks, they were just like normal humans. Moreover, the smart brain also upgraded the subsequent simulated robots. The faces of the robots manufactured later could actually change appearance. This was very simple for the smart brain, it only needed to set up a changeable module on the faces of these robots. Chen Yu was very satisfied with the smart brain's upgrade, these robots could completely go abroad as spies and disguise themselves as anyone. In the blink of an eye, a few days passed, and the Huanyu Technology Chip Launch Conference was about to be held. Some media from all over the country and the world had arrived in Zhongcheng one after another. Although everyone felt that Huanyu Technology was exaggerating its publicity, it was impossible for a chip to be equivalent to half of the world's computing power. However, given the current reputation of Huanyu Technology, these media still wanted to come and see it. The Yangzia government also arranged for central-level media to report live on the entire event. America also secretly sent people to participate in this conference. After all, a company that can create bullet-headed combat aircraft cannot be underestimated. Chapter 63. In the Universal Science and Technology Park, a large stage had been set up in front of the massive chip factory. Large screens, speakers, and other equipment were already in place around the stage, and thousands of chairs were arranged below. Tomorrow, Universal Technology would release its first chip. Chen Yu, along with Suro and some of Universal Technologies executives, were there for the final adjustments. Just then, a line of military vehicles drove into the factory. Cao Guangde, along with a group of high-ranking officers from the southern military region, stepped out of the vehicles. Chen Yu walked forward. General Cao. What brings you here? Chen Yu, your chip launch event is tomorrow. I came to see if our military can help in any way, such as with security. Haha, thank you, General Cao. I've already made arrangements for security at the launch event. However, you are all welcome to come to the event tomorrow. That's for sure, for sure. By the way, General Cao, you didn't come just for my security, did you? Haha, to be honest, the higher-ups were furious about the destruction of the Buell-Theod aircraft this time. They asked me to thank you for capturing those culprits. Chen Yu nodded. General Cao, if you have any other thoughts, feel free to speak your mind. Then I won't be polite. Chen Yu, can you build 10 more Buell-Theod aircraft for us? This time, our military will pay for them. No problem. I thought it was something important. It's a small matter. Cao Guangde was shocked. Chen Yu actually said it was a small matter. That kind of strategic level weapon was like a toy in Chen Yu's mouth. Chen Yu, I have another request. Go ahead. Those robots that can defeat biomodified humans, is it possible to equip our military with some? General Cao, let me be honest. Currently, the manufacturing process for my robots is not yet mature, and the manufacturing cost is extremely high, so it's not suitable for mass production. However, if Yangzia encounters things like modified humans in the future, I will take action. Cao Guangde nodded in disappointment. Ahem. Is that so? Well, that's fine. It's good that you have the intention. In fact, at this very moment, a circle of men in black suits stood around the area. They were all Chen Yu's bionic robots, which were the security force for his launch event tomorrow. As for Chen Yu's statement that the manufacturing process was not mature, it was pure nonsense. If he were to produce these robots with all his might, he could make thousands a day. It could be said that they have intelligence, and Chen Yu only wanted to keep these robots in his own hands. After seeing General Cao off, Chen Yu continued to debug some equipment on site. The next day, the launch event finally arrived. Media from all over the country and the world gathered there. Of course, among the thousands of people, there were also many foreign spies. There were those from the United States, multiple countries in the European Union, and also those from Sakura country who hated our country. At 10 o'clock in the morning, the venue was already bustling with noise. Fortunately, this launch event was different from the first Universal Factory launch event. That time, the road leading to the Universal Factory was just a narrow and broken dirt road. Now, Chen Yu had the full support of Donghai City and Zhongcheng City. When Chen Yu started construction, a two-way 6-lane asphalt road branched off from the Jiangdong Expressway and directly connected to the entrance of the Universal Science and Technology Park. It could be seen how much the two cities valued universal technology. This also solved the embarrassment of the traffic jam that lasted 2 hours during the first launch event. One by one, big shots came to the scene, including the mayor of Zhongcheng City and high-level leadership teams. There were also the mayor and high-ranking officials of Donghai City, as well as special envoys from Yanjing in the capital, and generals from the military region. Just looking at the lineup attending the launch event, one could know how high Universal Technology's current status was. At 10:30 in the morning, the Universal Technology chip launch event officially began. First on stage was still Suro, the general manager of Universal Technology. She stood in the center of the stage, picked up the microphone, and shouted to the audience. Welcome everyone to attend our second Universal Technology launch event. This time, the product we bring will be enough to subvert the world. Immediately, the excited cheers from the audience merged into one. Many male animals saw Suro's beauty and figure, which was simply their dream of the perfect domineering female CEO. However, many rational people showed suspicious expressions. What chip is enough to subvert the world? Even if the most advanced 1.6 nanometer chip in the United States is mass-produced and released, it won't be exaggerated to change the world. How confident or arrogant is Universal Technology to dare to say that? Suro continued on stage. Everyone may still be questioning our products. I understand you very well. After all, during our first launch event, the audience left halfway because of doubts, but in the end, everyone knows the result. Suro's words, in addition to teasing the audience for being blind, also implied that her products would definitely amaze you. Okay, I hope everyone won't leave halfway during our second Universal Technology launch event. I won't waste any more time. Next, I will hand over the time to our chairman, Mr. Chen Yu, who will take you into the Hall of Future Technology. Suro slowly walked off the stage. Chen Yu was dressed very simply, in a white t-shirt with only the logo of Universal Technology printed on it. A pair of blue jeans and canvas shoes. Perhaps the big shots like to dress like this when holding launch events, clean, fresh, and approachable. When Chen Yu came on stage, many female audience members began to cheer. After all, Chen Yu was now tall and straight, and he was already handsome, and now his aura was fully open. It was simply the perfect object of girls' fantasies, rich, handsome, and in good shape. Chen Yu, wearing a portable headset, walked to the center of the stage. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedules to come to our Universal Science and Technology Park to attend our second launch event. Everyone has seen from the invitation letter in our official website that we are going to release a cross-era product today, a new type of chip. But I call it a photonic chip. Immediately, the audience began to discuss. Because before, whether it was the invitation letter or the official website, they only said that Universal Technology was going to release a chip, and did not say the specific name. This time, what does the photonic chip in Chen Yu's mouth mean? What does it represent? Everyone is curious, why is it called a photonic chip? There was a burst of discussion from the audience. Chen Yu pressed the remote control in his hand. The huge screen behind the stage began to play the video. This was a video produced by the smart brain introducing photonic chips. It talked about what photonic chips are and why they have such powerful computing power. Chapter 64. The so-called photon chip is actually called a photon folding tremor chip. It utilizes photons that vibrate and fold within a specific area at the speed of light to achieve computational functions. A single photon chip allows photons to fold back and forth within an area of only 3 centimeters, and there is a transmission medium inside that can control the speed of the photons. From a minimum of 100 million folds per second to a maximum of 10 billion folds, this difference in speed enables supercomputing capabilities. Ordinary sensors using Earth technology cannot capture photon signals at 10 billion times per second, but Chen Yu has extraterrestrial technology. Therefore, the most difficult part of this chip is this internal microsensor. A single photon chip is already enough to surpass Earth's technology by 100 years. Chen Yu also possesses the technology for multi-photon chips, with several or even dozens of photons running simultaneously. The computing power is simply incomprehensible to humans on Earth. So, for things like the small clamp and those simulation robots, the reason they have intelligence and can generate their own thoughts is because they have this kind of chip in their brains, and it's a multi-photon chip. Powerful computing power is needed to support their ability to generate consciousness and intelligence. The audience and the media watched the introductory video about photon chips on the large screen. They exclaimed in surprise because this is a completely new chip design concept. According to physics, it is entirely possible to manufacture. This has simply broadened the horizons of humankind again. After the video finished playing, Chen Yu spoke into his headset. Everyone may be confused after watching this promotional video, only feeling that it is high-end, but you only need to remember that if your computer has one of my single photon chips, it is equivalent to having a world-leading supercomputing center. Immediately, many hardcore fans of Huanyu technology in the audience began to cheer. Although they didn't understand the technology, it sounded very impressive. Next, Chen Yu introduced the compatibility of the single photon chip. Currently, there are only a few CPU architectures for computers worldwide, and if a single photon chip wants to be inserted, it must follow these architectures. However, the architecture of the photon chip is extremely advanced, far surpassing the garbage on Earth. Therefore, Huanyu Technology has launched a converter. This involves installing the photon chip on the converter, and the converter is compatible with the chip interfaces of all computers in the world. This can solve the compatibility problem of the photon chip, but there is a disadvantage: it will greatly limit the performance of the photon chip. With the converter installed, the photon chip can only exert 1/10 of its performance. However, even 1/10 of the computing power is still decades ahead of the rest of the world. Just as the audience was regretting why the performance would be reduced, Chen Yu took the opportunity to launch his own host brand. The motherboard directly connects to the photon chip, without the performance reduction of a converter, and the host equipped with the photon chip does not need a graphics card at all. Relying solely on the real-time rendering of the chip, you can get the most perfect gaming experience. It can be said that all the games on Earth don't even use 1% of the photon chip's performance. Just as the audience thought that Chen Yu's press conference was coming to an end, Chen Yu once again revealed shocking news. Everyone knows that the world's operating systems, whether on the PC or our mobile phones, are monopolized by the United States. They have Microsoft, Apple, and Android. If war comes one day, and the United States closes support for these systems, your computer and your mobile phone may turn into a brick overnight. Immediately, the Yangtze audience below the stage became excited because what Chen Yu said was the truth. And today, the chip we released from Huanyu Technology is hardware, and what I look forward to most is the software we are about to release. Next, I announce that we will provide our latest advanced artificial intelligence operating system to the world for free. It is compatible with all PC and mobile devices. This is Huanyu Technology's Fuxi system. In Yangtze legends, Fuxi is not only the head of the 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors, but also the god of wisdom and the god of creation. It is appropriate for Chen Yu to name his artificial intelligence system this name, because this system has its own wisdom and can greatly improve human work efficiency. After Chen Yu finished introducing it, a promotional video of the Fuxi system played on the big screen. First, there was a clerical worker who needed to compile reports, and then she told the computer her requirements. On the screen, it automatically started to compile, and even automatically connected to the internet to collect data. This is simply an intelligent system that can help you work. The current popular GPT artificial intelligence in the United States, such as text-to-video and text-to-image, is simply weak in front of Chen Yu's system. The Fuxi system is also compatible with all developed software on Earth's current operating systems. No matter what system you used before, after switching to Huanyu Technology's Fuxi system, the previous software can still run and will be even smoother. When they learned that Huanyu Technology's Fuxi system was so powerful, the audience at the scene collectively boiled over. Those who cheered and applauded were all Yangtze patriotic citizens. Those foreign media who came to watch the excitement, as well as representatives of technology companies, and spies from various countries, were as uncomfortable as if they had eaten a dead fly. If Huanyu Technology wasn't bragging, then today's press conference would really change the world. After Chen Yu introduced the products, of course, he let these people experience it practically. With a wave of his hand, a huge curtain next to the press conference venue was lifted. There were thousands of computers here, all equipped with Huanyu hosts and single photon chips inside. Everyone must be very excited now. In the experience area next door, there are 1,000 Huanyu computers equipped with photon chips. You can go and actually experience their performance. If there are research institutions that need the help of a supercomputing center, you might as well use one of my computers to achieve it for you. After Chen Yu finished speaking, he slowly walked off the stage. Immediately, the audience rushed to the experience area. The computers here had downloaded popular large-scale games so that people could experience them. 2 American spies quickly occupied a computer. They took the lead in logging into an international website. This is the most authoritative website for global computer performance testing. By opening the test page on this website, you can conduct a comprehensive test of this computer. Moreover, the headquarters of this website is in the United States, so Huanyu Technology cannot cheat. Open the website, and then click on the performance test. When the American spy clicked the Start Test button, a number appeared on the screen in just half a second. The spy was dumbfounded when he saw the content displayed on the screen. Chapter 65. The American spies were dumbfounded as they watched a string of unbelievable numbers appear on the computer screen. Test score, 1000000 plus, performance off the charts, reached the maximum data limit. Second place score, 97,465 points. Your computer is now leading the world. Test time, 0.43 seconds. The average test time for computers currently participating is 10 minutes, surpassing all computers in the world. The test time alone demonstrates how powerful this computer's performance is. Chip processing power exceeds the test data limit, surpassing all computers in the world. Row after row, all proclaiming it surpassed all computers in the world. Finally, this computer successfully topped the website's performance rankings. At that moment, in a building in Silicon Valley, America, the CEO of this testing website was staring at the latest test data. He immediately widened his eyes, and then looked at the tester's IP address, which turned out to be from Yangzia. He immediately picked up the phone and called the American Department of Technology. Because this testing website couldn't be cheated at all. Only by completing those computational tests would it generate a score. Several research institutions even input data that they needed the supercomputing center to calculate. They received their answers in just a few moments. Thinking about the at least $1 million cost of renting a supercomputing center, they now got the results calculated for free. This further subverted people's perception of Huanyu computers. This was simply a groundbreaking product. Technology media from various countries had their own methods for proving computer performance, but after trying, they were all shocked speechless. Could humans really create such a computer? This computing power was simply so powerful that it exceeded their understanding. People who had experienced it wanted to order Huanyu Technology's computers on the spot. Finally, the prices of the chips were displayed on the big screen. Single photon chip, basic model, fastest speed of 10 billion operations per second, domestic price 4,999 yuan, overseas price 49,999 yuan. Converter price, Yangzia 999 yuan, overseas 9,999 yuan. Huanyu host, the most powerful performance, Yangzia price 19,999 yuan, overseas price 199,999 yuan. When they saw these prices, the foreign media representatives cursed directly. This was outrageous. The overseas price was 10 times more expensive. Why did Yangzia only sell it for a few thousand yuan, while they had to spend tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands to buy it? However, the Yangzia audience cheered, praising Huanyu Technology as a conscientious enterprise, only making money from foreigners. Some foreign viewers raised serious protests, for which Huanyu Technology gave the reason that there was no reason, take it or leave it. Thousands of people on the scene, more than 80% of them placed orders on the spot. Some foreigners, who originally came to watch the joke, also took out their wallets. Because buying in Yangzia was 10 times cheaper. When they returned to their country, ordering in their country would be 10 times more expensive. They weren't fools. Many foreigners even ordered multiple sets at once, planning to take them back to their country to be secondary dealers and earn the price difference. However, each person was limited to buying only 5 sets, so they all bought the maximum. With such a big price difference between domestic and foreign countries, it was estimated that in the future, foreigners would be smuggling goods from Yangzia back to their countries. It was noon again, and Huanyu Technology was still very humane, preparing lunch for the audience who came to participate in the press conference. Chen Yu came to the stage. Cao Guangde, Mayor Wu Jiangguo, Mayor Zhao Wenbin, and the special envoy from Yanjing all came to congratulate Chen Yu. They all knew that Huanyu Technology was really going to take off this time. With the release of these two products, Yangzia would surpass America in many fields. In the past, to manufacture chips, we needed to import lithography machines. Now we don't need them at all. That thing has become a low-end product. Now that Yangzia had this kind of chip, the whole world would be rushing to buy it. Because if you don't use Yangzia's chips, your productivity will be left behind, and your technological research and development level in all walks of life will lag behind. America relied on high-end manufacturing, especially the advantages of chips and systems, to harvest huge amounts of wealth around the world. Now Huanyu Technology has launched a cross-era chip and an equally cross-era operating system. This made America's advantage disappear, which would reduce America's income by at least several trillion US dollars every year. This had basically shaken the foundation of America. In the White House conference room, President Biden and a group of American senior officials were watching the Huanyu Technology press conference live. Now that the press conference was nearing its end, everyone in the conference room, including Biden, had a frown on their faces. Secretary of Technology Rogers had just received a call from the CEO of the performance testing website, informing him that a computer from Yangzia had measured an astonishing score. This basically confirmed the authenticity of the Huanyu Technology press conference. Their products were just that awesome. Biden slammed his hand angrily on the conference table, startling everyone. "Speak, everyone, tell me, what are we going to do?" The chip industry and operating systems are important monopolistic industries for America in the world. Once Yangzia takes the lead, America will not be far from decline. Many senior officials lowered their heads and remained silent. How would they know what to do? Who would have thought that a company from Yangzhou that had just emerged a few months ago could have such awesome technology? Secretary of Technology Rogers thought for a moment and said, Mr. President, we cannot sit idly by. That Huanyu technology first provided the Yangzhou military with the Buell-Theod fighter aircraft, this strategic level weapon, and now it has launched a chip product that is an era ahead of the Earth. I think this company must have secrets. As soon as these words came out, many senior officials who knew about the alien spacecraft wreckage all thought of one fact. Biden waved his hand, and after letting irrelevant personnel leave, only the most core cabinet members remained. Rogers, continue. Biden signaled. Rogers then continued. I speculate that Chen Yu may have also found those alien wrecks, so that Huanyu technology could rise in just a few months. I sent spies to investigate. Huanyu technology only contacted the military after it rose. If this is the case, I am sure that Chen Yu himself found those technologies. He may have found a more complete wreck, or even a spacecraft that has not been damaged, so it is easier to crack. Many American senior officials nodded in agreement. It had to be said that what Rogers said was correct. Chen Yu had obtained a perfect Level 7 civilization spacecraft. Secretary of Defense Schneider asked. Rogers, the modified humans you sent to destroy the Buell-Theod, with their abilities, should not have been captured at the border. Do you think this matter has anything to do with Huanyu technology? Rogers thought of the last voice message sent back by the modified human. Saying that they were subdued by a Terminator T-800, there was something strange about this in itself. Could it be that Yangzhou also had its own modified humans? And they looked like Terminators? Mr. Schneider, I think your guess is not impossible. Listen to a recording first. Then, Rogers played the last sound that the modified human boss sent back. After everyone listened, Schneider guessed. Yangzhou is very likely to have its own modified humans. Otherwise, our modified humans could not have been subdued. At this time, Biden spoke. Now let's assume that Yangzhou also has modified humans, and it is very likely that it was Huanyu technology that created them. Do you have any way to solve America's current predicament? If this cannot be solved, our plan to plunder the world cannot be implemented. Rogers said with a fierce expression. Mr. President, I think we must obtain the technology of Huanyu technology. If necessary, we can capture that Chen Yu. The American senior officials who were still in this room were all crazy in their hearts. They did not allow any country on earth to be better than them. Rogers, what are you going to do? Chapter 66. Currently, for the United Technology, it is a thorn in the side and a thorn in the flesh of the Americans. They have already threatened the American plan to plunder the world. Rogers pondered for a long time and spoke of his plan against United Technology. Mr. President, colleagues, we Americans must dominate the world in order to better cope with the upcoming solar crisis. Therefore, I am going to take action against Yangzhou's United Technology. I will send the most elite spies to kidnap him and bring him to the United States, and then let him tell us how he got those technologies. Rogers' plan was approved by the top American officials, including the President. Thus, a plan to kidnap and capture Chen Yu was issued from the highest level of the United States. At the same time, because the Yangzhou military's bullet-headed aircraft has been destroyed, the Yangzhou's offshore defense will once again fall into weakness. Upon receiving the news, the cherry blossom country immediately became excited. Last time, an entire fleet was annihilated by Yangzhou, and the domestic people were full of complaints. Under the unbearable conditions of the cherry blossom country's top management, they once again assembled a powerful maritime fleet to go to the Yangzhou waters to attempt provocation. This time, the cherry blossom country used its two Haiga-class amphibious assault ships. This thing is called an amphibious assault ship, but it is actually a small aircraft carrier. American-provided F-35 vertical takeoff and landing fighter jets can take off from it. The entire fleet consists of as many as 50 warships, including destroyers and attack ships, making for a considerable lineup. Under the instigation of the United States, the cherry blossom country became even more unscrupulous and headed to the Yangzhou waters. Just as United Technology's chips were selling like crazy, the sea was already turbulent. After the completion of the United Technology Park chip factory, Chen Yu's second factory is preparing to build a large spacecraft construction base. In order to cope with the future solar crisis, Chen Yu must prepare for both possibilities. He is preparing to build several home-world-class spaceships, which are several times larger than his ship number 1. This is also a design drawing of a kind of interstellar colonization ship that Chen Yu can find in his authority's technology library. Of course, such a large spaceship cannot be built on Earth. It can only be assembled in a space environment, just like the International Space Station, with a part of the parts launched by rockets each time to dock. At the same time, Chen Yu also began to build an underground shelter base 300 meters deep underground in United Technology Park. The United Technology Park covers an area of 90,000 acres, and it is necessary to build such a large underground shelter. It also needs to have the same ecological cycle system as the Homeworld-class spaceship, so the amount of work is not small. Once completed, Chen Yu's underground base alone can accommodate more than 5 million people, which is about the same as the population density of the city center. Chen Yu plans to complete the construction of 3 Homeworld-class spaceships and the construction of an underground shelter base in 1 year. That's right, such a large project is only 1 year, which is about the same with the exaggerated construction efficiency of his robots. However, this will inevitably require massive resources, and even Chen Yu's current speed of making money may not be able to withstand such a huge investment. When the first underground base is completed, more underground bases will have to be built across the country, which is simply an astronomical investment. However, Chen Yu will definitely not spend his own money to build it by then. When Chen Yu returned to the villa after inspecting the United Technology Park, he and Xiao Jiazi had just gotten out of the car. Several men in black rushed out of the garden. Each of them held a pistol equipped with a silencer and aimed at Chen Yu and Xiao Jiazi. Chen Yu frowned. These people looked like they were up to no good. They were probably Western spies again. The chips and Fuxi system that I recently released have shocked the world and should have moved the cheese of a major Western country. Chen Yu and Xiao Jiazi were pointed at with guns, but neither of them showed any fear on their faces, and even had a hint of ridicule and jest. Chen Yu raised his eyebrows and chuckled. "Heh, I didn't expect you to run to my house. Tell me, who sent you? If you tell me, I might spare your lives and hand you over to the authorities, otherwise, disappear from this world." A total of 6 men in black surrounded Chen Yu and the 2 of them. They did not answer Chen Yu's question. Their mission was only to arrest people and take them away. "Mr. Chen, you don't need to know our identities. We only hope that you will come with us." "Oh. Where are you going to take me?" "To America." Chen Yu said his guess, but these spies were professionally trained and were not exposed by Chen Yu's words. "Mr. Chen, you don't have to ask. You'll know when you get there." "Okay, then I'll go with you." Chen Yu was ready to be captured, while Xiao Jiazi looked like nothing was wrong and walked into the villa on her own. 2 men in black stopped her. "Beautiful lady, you have to come with us too." "What if I say no?" Xiao Jiazi retorted. Chen Yu shouted to the 2 men in black behind him. "You better not mess with her, let her stay, I'll go with you. If you have to take her away, none of you may be able to leave." The leader of the group of spies nodded to the 2 men in black who were blocking Xiao Jiazi. The 2 men in black were about to subdue Xiao Jiazi, but at this moment, Xiao Jiazi moved. Her figure was like a ghost, and her speed was so fast that almost after images appeared. With 2 punches, the 2 men in black fell to the ground and vomited blood. In just a moment, there was no sound, and they were directly killed by a punch. The other 4 men in black, including the spy leader, looked at this scene in disbelief. They were all rigorously trained, strong men who could take down 10 people with their bare hands. But in front of this delicate and beautiful girl, they couldn't even withstand a punch. The chests of the 2 men were directly sunken in, and the broken bones pierced their hearts. The 4 men pointed their guns at Xiao Jiazi and pulled the trigger. Bang 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 bang. The pistols with silencers made several muffled sounds. Chapter 67. Little Clip's figure disappeared from the spot. With extreme speed, she instantly disarmed the 4 men. The 4 spies didn't even see Little Clip's movements clearly. It was night, and Little Clip's speed was abnormal. When Little Clip stood in front of everyone again, she was holding 4 guns. Chen Yu sarcastically said from behind. "I told you not to provoke her. You wouldn't listen. I already agreed to go with you. Shouldn't you have quit while you were ahead?" At this moment, the spy leader quickly flashed behind Chen Yu, pulled out a dagger from his leg, and held it against Chen Yu's throat. "Don't come over. If you come over, I'll kill him." The spy leader threatened Little Clip. However, Little Clip threw down the 4 guns in her hand, ignored the men in black at the door, and walked into the villa on her own. The spies were all dumbfounded. What was going on? She wasn't going to save her boss? And she threw the guns on the ground? One of the spies quickly stepped forward, picked up the 4 guns, and handed them back to the others. The 4 men secretly took Chen Yu out of the villa, then him into a black car in the distance and drove away. Just 1 minute after Chen Yu was captured, a flying car slowly landed. Another Chen Yu walked out of the car, and little Clip hurried out of the villa. Master, they took away your clone. Good, I want to see who wants to capture me. That's right, the Chen Yu just now was a simulation robot made by the intelligent brain robot in Chen Yu's appearance, 1-to-1. The intelligent brain also implanted Chen Yu's personality, tone of voice, and habitual movements into the robot's body. In Chen Yu's mind, the intelligent brain could also transmit the real-time visual images of the clone robot to Chen Yu himself. In other words, Chen Yu was using the robot's body to personally see who wanted to kidnap him. As for how he knew someone was going to kidnap him, it was of course the security system in the villa. Besides the necessary security system in Chen Yu's own residence. On the near-Earth synchronous orbit in space, his landing ship was watching his home overhead at all times. Those spies had already been discovered when they came to scout the location 2 days ago. Chen Yu had planned this. Although Chen Yu could basically guess who wanted to kidnap him, Chen Yu wanted these kidnappers to understand that he was not easy to mess with. With this clone robot sent over, Chen Yu was prepared to give the other party a taste of their own medicine. The 4 spies who captured Chen Yu took advantage of the night to drive non-stop to a remote seaside in Zhang City. There was a very inconspicuous fishing boat docked here. The robot Chen Yu cooperated very well, followed these people onto the fishing boat, and then headed towards the deep sea. Chen Yu called the landing ship, and 2 simulation robots came down from it to carry the 2 corpses killed by Little Clip at the door onto the landing ship. These 2 corpses would become space debris in a few minutes. Chen Yu returned to his room and began to draw the blueprints for the underground base. Early the next morning, Chen Yu was awakened by the ringing of the phone. He picked it up and saw that it was CAO Guang calling. Chen Yu pressed the answer button. General CAO, so early. What's the matter? Chen Yu, when can you build your Buell-Theod combat aircraft? About 2 more days, I guess. Chen Yu had actually forgotten because he had been busy with the press conference and building the base recently. Okay, that's great. Those little Japanese Sakura country warships are here again. They must have received the news that our Buell-Theod was destroyed and want to avenge their previous arrow. What? The little Japanese are here again? I think they're tired of living. They're just a small island nation. Aren't they afraid of sinking into the sea one day? Once your Buell-Theod arrives, I'll make them get out of here immediately. General CAO, leave this matter to me. I'll make these little Japanese know the pain. Chen Yu, what are you going to do? You don't have to worry about that. Just pretend you don't know. Okay then. Chen Yu, you better not leave any handle. General CAO. Don't worry, they don't have the ability. Chen Yu hung up the phone, changed his clothes, and came to the garden. His landing ship had already landed in the garden invisibly. Chen Yu boarded the spaceship and flew towards the sea. The landing ship quickly flew near the East China Sea, and Chen Yu could already see the mighty and imposing Sakura country fleet. There were also several Yangtze destroyers confronting the other side in front. Because it happened suddenly, the Yangtze aircraft carrier was still staying in the southern sea area, and it was difficult to quickly reinforce the East China Sea. Outside the southern sea area, the American aircraft carrier battle group was also eyeing covetously in the Philippine Sea. Chen Yu gave an order. Activate the spaceship's stealth mode. The landing ship slowly disappeared in the sky. The Earth's technological radar could not detect it, and even the naked eye could not see it. Let's go fuck them up. Chen Yu felt that using violent means to take over the world was too crude. What he pursued was to make those countries willingly submit. Once your technology was leading, then I will make Yangtze even more leading. Once you were the world police, targeting my Yangtze everywhere. Then Chen Yu will make Yangtze also become that hegemonic country, so that those countries that once bullied Yangtze know that the earth has changed. And Chen Yu has a deep national hatred for the country of the little Japanese, so he is even more unscrupulous towards them. After the shelter is built, you can go to their homeland. Recruit some Sakura country teachers and young women, after all, in the underground city or space city. There is also a need for some entertainment industries. In the future, people engaged in this type of occupation must only be Sakura country people. And Yangzia women are prohibited from doing this kind of work. Chen Yu also thought that in the future, in Europe, he would also recruit some football teams, and in the United States, he would also recruit the NBA. Let the descendants of these players only train players to provide competitions for people in the base. Even conduct competitions between base cities all over the country. In the future, each base city will have its own basketball team and football team. After all, Chen Yu was once a fanatical fan. He doesn't want these entertainment elements to be gone after the end of the world. If that were the case, people's lives would be very boring. Chen Yu is trying to build a perfect shelter base so that the surviving humans can enjoy the same life as before. Back to the topic, what Chen Yu is now targeting is the Sakura country fleet. The landing ship flew stealthily over the fleet. Captain, the laser cannon has locked onto the target. Should we fire? Fire, annihilate the little Japanese warships. Received. Immediately, the 3 laser cannon barrels on the landing ship were aimed at the Sakura country fleet below. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Ju, ju, ju. Boom. Chapter 68. As the landing craft fired several laser beams downwards, Chen Yu saw the Sakura country fleet below erupt in a massive blaze. The entire fleet was struck by the laser beams falling from the sky, and explosions were everywhere. The Yangzia soldiers on the Yangzia destroyer a few nautical miles ahead saw the Sakura country fleet opposite being struck by an unknown beam of light from the sky. Then it became a sea of fire. The 2 Hyga-class small aircraft carriers were directly blasted into seas and were slowly sinking. The Sakura country soldiers on board let out shrill screams, suffering countless casualties. They desperately called for help from the American Navy. Mighty American Navy, please save us. We are your loyal dogs, please save us. Then there was silence. In the command rooms of these warships, Sine Alman frantically sought help from their homeland in America. Unfortunately, they were destined not to wait for anyone to come and save them. At this moment, the American aircraft carrier battle group lurking in the Philippine Sea received a distress call from the Sakura country Navy. Mighty American Navy, save us. We are under attack for unknown reasons. The attacker is coming from the sky, and we cannot see them. In just over 10 minutes, this Sakura country fleet, dozens of warships, including 2 small aircraft carriers, were all destroyed and sunk. Hundreds and thousands of Sakura country sailors were floundering in the sea, and without rescue ships, they would surely die. However, this was no longer something Chen Yu needed to consider. These little devils came to make trouble, so they should have known the possible consequences. Before Chen Yu left the scene, his phone received a call from Cao Guangde. Because the landing craft would automatically receive the signal from Chen Yu's phone, his communication was unimpeded even on the high seas. As soon as he answered, Cao Guangde's excited voice rang out. Chen Yu, did you go to the East Sea? General Cao, you know. Of course, our destroyer is only a few nautical miles away. Those Sakura country fleets should never dare to invade our Yangzia waters again. According to the report from our destroyer, they said that they only saw a few beams of light being emitted from the sky, and those Sakura country fleets were completely wiped out. Have you developed some kind of cutting-edge weapon again? Hehe, General Cao, I naturally have my ways. You just need to believe that anyone who offends my Yangzia will die. Cao Guangde was shocked by Chen Yu again and again. He didn't know how many secrets Chen Yu had and how many good things he had in his hands. However, he felt very gratified by Chen Yu's words. Chen Yu was a Yangzia person and very patriotic. This put him at ease. Even if Chen Yu was unwilling to hand over the technology in his hands, at least Yangzia was safe. Because Chen Yu would not allow any country to bully Yangzia. Chen Yu, you can handle it yourself. Anyway, the other party has no evidence to prove that we did it. As long as we insist that it was not Yangzia who did it, then the Sakura country warships can sink. With an order from Chen Yu, the landing craft flew directly towards the Sakura country mainland. Intelligent brain, lock onto all Sakura country naval bases. Today, I want to make sure that this country doesn't have a single warship. Okay, Captain, all Sakura country naval bases have been locked, a total of 125 warships. Okay, let's clear them one base at a time. Subsequently, a scene occurred that caused panic among the navies of all countries in the world. Countless laser beams fell from the sky, causing the entire Sakura country navy to be wiped out. Not even a Coast Guard ship was left for Sakura country, while those civilian ships or cruise ships were unharmed and unaffected. This cleansing plan only targeted the naval power of Sakura country. When the attack footage taken by people was reported, it caused a panic in various countries. Some people even rumored that aliens had arrived, but this was similar to an alien attack. At this moment, on a small fishing boat sailing in the Southern Sea area, the robot Chen Yu was sitting safely in a chair. Several spies looked at him with puzzled faces, wondering why this guy was so calm. Being kidnapped to America this time, he was basically doomed. Just then, a Philippine Coast Guard ship approached the small fishing boat. This was a ship that had colluded with the American Navy and was here to meet them. The robot Chen Yu was taken aboard the Philippine Coast Guard ship and quickly sailed towards the American aircraft carrier fleet in the Pacific Ocean. 3 days passed. Chen Yu was lying on the sofa in the villa, browsing international news. The top story was about the Sakura country Navy being completely wiped out in one day, with not even a Coast Guard ship left. The footage of the Sakura country Navy being attacked was also going viral online. Many Sakura country netizens pointed the finger directly at Yangtze country, saying that their fleet was annihilated by Yangtze in the East Sea, and Yangtze did not stop there. They even openly violated international conventions and attacked their homeland. The Sakura country government called on the world to unite against Yangtze's hegemonic behavior. But Yangtze lightly issued a notice to the world. Our Yangtze has not carried out any attacks against the Sakura country Navy, please do not spread rumors or believe them. This directly angered the Sakura country people to death. Even if they knew it was done by Yangtze. But how exactly did Yangtze do it? Do they now have space-based weapons? Those beams of light fell from the sky. This incredible weapon was simply terrifying. In the American White House, Biden and a group of senior cabinet officials watched the footage of the Sakura country Navy being attacked. Tell me, what exactly is going on? Now the Sakura country Prime Minister has been putting pressure on me, asking me to give him a reasonable explanation. They listened to our instructions and invaded Yangtze waters twice, and they were all annihilated. This time, even the entire country's navy was wiped out. How are we going to explain this to our allies? Biden said angrily, feeling that several more strands of his hair had turned white. Since Yangtze Huanyu technology emerged, America and its allies have been frustrated everywhere. The Secretary of Defense put forward his own opinion. Mr. President, our military has judged based on the attack video that these beams of light are a kind of energy weapon, somewhat similar to the laser energy cannon on the warheads of Huanyu technology, but this time it is obviously more powerful and more accurate. By the way, what about Chen Yu? Didn't our spies say they caught him? Bring him in and ask him, and we'll know. Rogers immediately reported. Mr. President, my people have already caught Chen Yu. He is still at sea and will probably be transported to the American mainland tomorrow. Damn it, send a plane over and transport that kid from the sea as soon as possible. I want to see him today. Rogers took the order and made a phone call. Mr. President, I have already arranged for our plane to pick him up. You will be able to see him this afternoon. Okay, you guys also prepare. Today, we must get something useful out of that kid. Chapter 69. It was evening in America, inside a secret military base. The robot Chen Yu was being held in a dark room. He had been flown here by plane this afternoon. Suddenly, all the lights in the room turned on, but Chen Yu's eyes remained wide open, not blinded by the sudden bright light. 2 white soldiers entered the room and said to Chen Yu, "Mr. Chen, someone wants to see you, please come with us." The robot Chen Yu immediately stood up. He had been waiting impatiently to see the people who had kidnapped him. Meanwhile, in Zhang City, at the Jinjiang Shan Shui Villa, Chen Yu was awakened early in the morning by the AI. "Oh. Okay, quickly transmit the images. I want to see who it is." Immediately, a video appeared in Chen Yu's mind, showing the perspective from the doppelganger robot's eyes. Inside the secret underground military base in America, the robot Chen Yu was led to a bright conference room. His hands and feet were tied to a metal chair fixed to the ground. Soon, some Western white men in suits walked into the conference room. They all sat down behind the conference table, as if to judge Chen Yu. As soon as these people walked in, Chen Yu recognized several of them. There was the American President Biden, Defense Secretary Schneider, Science and Technology Minister Rogers, and some important American cabinet members. They were all figures who frequently appeared on international news. The robot Chen Yu smiled mockingly, ha ha ha, I guessed it was you Americans who kidnapped me. You really use any despicable means. The words spoken by the robot Chen Yu at this moment were transmitted by the real Chen Yu. The robot Chen Yu could now be said to be controlled by the real Chen Yu, equivalent to using a puppet to communicate with the American high-level officials. Hehe, Mr. Chen, we invited you here this time mainly to ask you a few questions, Science and Technology Minister Rogers said to Chen Yu. Chen Yu shook his head, indicating that their etiquette was really in place, tying him up here. Haha, America is indeed a land of etiquette. It's just asking me a few questions, is it necessary to make such a fuss, bringing me all the way from Yangzhou? Mr. Chen, we are indeed sorry, but we are also compelled. Biden apologized. Oh, it's the first time I've seen the American president. As expected of the person said to have the most power in the world. If you want to ask me questions, you can just have someone contact me. Doing this makes me a little angry. Mr. Chen, let's get straight to the point. We really want to know, how did your Huan technology create so many advanced products in just a few months? Did you discover any secrets? This was asked by the American Defense Secretary Schneider. When Chen Yu heard the other party ask this question, he basically confirmed that America had also discovered alien wreckage. Chen Yu smiled faintly. Hehe, don't you already have the answer in your hearts? Why bother asking me? Would you believe me if I said these things were all developed by me? The faces of many American officials were very ugly. Okay, let us ask you another question, Mr. Chen, are you willing to share your technology with us Americans? Chen Yu's expression was slightly mocking. Ha 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 ha, that's the real reason you caught me here, isn't it, the so-called righteous Americans? Chen Yu's sarcasm made Biden and other high-level officials' faces turn livid. Damn it, Chen Yu, do you know your current situation? I advise you to cooperate well with us Americans. I guarantee you in the name of the President that as long as you hand over the technology you obtained, I will ensure that you can live the rest of your life peacefully in America. Chen Yu hated Biden's attitude. He usually looked relatively kind on television news. He didn't expect him to be an impolite, self-righteous old man behind the scenes. Mr. Biden, why should I give you what I obtained? Just because you caught me here. Chen Yu, isn't that right? Your life is in our hands now. If you hand over those technologies, you can not only save your life, but also live very well, just on our American soil. So, plunder is the nature of you Americans, right? You can't tolerate other countries being stronger than you, so you use all kinds of despicable means. Biden gritted his teeth. What Chen Yu said was true. They were such a country. A country that outwardly promotes democracy and freedom, but is actually utterly despicable, shameless, and hypocritical behind the scenes. Mr. Chen Yu, you don't have to be quick with your tongue. The fact is that you are in our hands now. If you still want to live, please cooperate with us. Ha 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 ha, Mr. President, what if I say no? If I kill all the American high-level officials here, will your American government be in turmoil? Chen Yu's words immediately made the American high-level officials present look at each other in dismay. They were curious about what Chen Yu meant. Only the Minister of Science and Technology, Rogers, frowned. He was thoughtful, sinister, and cunning, and very suspicious. According to the report from the subordinates who captured Chen Yu did not resist at the time, and seemed eager to leave with his people. And after Chen Yu was caught here, he remained very calm, as if he was not afraid of being in danger at all. All of this was too unusual, Chen Yu was too calm. He slowly exited the office, took out a special communicator in his hand, and pressed a button. At this moment in the conference room, Biden pointed at Chen Yu's nose and shouted angrily. Chen Yu, are you crazy? You dare to threaten us, tell me quickly, are you willing to cooperate with us? Chen Yu simply stopped hiding. He suddenly stood up, and all the metal anklets and bracelets on his body broke off. The American high-level officials who saw this scene were all in disbelief and dumbfounded. Chen Yu slowly raised his hand, extended his index finger, and a silver metal tube protruded from his fingertip. Then a beam of laser burst out from the metal tube, directly hitting Biden's forehead. Crack! Biden's head exploded in place, becoming another president after Kennedy to be shot in the head. However, Biden's explosion was more thorough this time, even his brain matter was blown out. Everyone was already sluggish. What did they see? The president of their mighty America was shot in the head. Can you believe it? The person who did it was too daring, they didn't react for a while. Chapter 70. A moment later, chaos erupted in the office. Chen Yu raised his hand, and laser beams shot out from his fingertips. Each one could reap a life. This was Chen Yu's special miniature laser emitter, installed on the arm of the doppelganger robot. Although the power was small, it was more than enough to kill people. Everyone desperately ran out of the conference room, but the robot Chen Yu's movements were extremely swift. In just a few dozen seconds, he slaughtered everyone in the conference room. Schneider was in good shape, he rushed out of the office the moment Biden's head exploded. Under the cover of the security soldiers at the door, he escaped the calamity. As for Rogers, he had already left the office. He suspected that Chen Yu had other tricks up his sleeve and went out to press the reinforcement button for his gene-modified human troops. Unexpectedly, this action saved his life. When Chen Yu walked out of the conference room, everyone inside was dead, completely wiped out. The real Chen Yu and Zhang Cheng lay on the bed, controlling the robot to wantonly massacre as if playing a game. This was the consequence of kidnapping him. It was almost a one-man battle against the entire base's military force. Not long after the battle began, 20 or 30 gene-modified warriors, each over 2 meters tall and wielding special weapons, poured into the passage. This was Roger's modified human troop. The guns in their hands were deciphered from alien wreckage, similar to the laser guns in Chen Yu's hands. Belonging to a level 2 civilization, the laser guns were no less powerful than the laser gun on the robot Chen Yu's arm. The battle continued, and after killing hundreds more ordinary soldiers, the robot Chen Yu's body was hit by several shots from the gene-modified troops' laser guns, leading to a serious decline in mobility. Humph, now that you're here, I'll give you a profound lesson, and avenge the 197 soldiers you killed. The robot Chen Yu activated the self-destruct program. It had a high-compression deuterium-tritium-ion battery inside its body. In order to give the enemy a fatal blow at the end, Chen Yu had the intelligent brain equip the self-destruct program. The explosive power was comparable to a ground-penetrating cruise missile. Rogers and Schneider, who had already escaped from the underground military base, were still fearful from afar. But at this moment, a loud explosion erupted from the underground base, and the entire ground collapsed, with huge flames bursting out. The explosion was too fierce, the entire military base was probably finished. The 30 gene-modified warriors and the remaining ordinary soldiers were basically wiped out. Schneider and Rogers, watching this scene from afar, couldn't help but reveal horror on their faces. What had they kidnapped this time? The senior management was all killed. Was this the consequence of offending Huanyu technology? Rogers glared angrily at the still burning ruins. They are simply too arrogant, we can't just let it go like this. Rogers, this was all your idea, now you think about how to explain it. Schneider turned and walked towards his helicopter. He now needed to immediately have Vice President Harrison take office. They couldn't afford to lose their composure now, they currently had a powerful opponent, and an extremely ferocious one. Schneider and Rogers didn't realize that they were the ones who provoked Chen Yu first. They would only think that Chen Yu brought them this disaster. Zhangcheng, Jinjiang Mountain Villa. The image in Chen Yu's mind disappeared, the doppelganger robot had completed its mission. Intelligent brain, this kind of robot is good, produce a few more for me to keep on hand for future use. Okay, Captain. Chen Yu felt a sense of satisfaction in his heart when he thought of the scene just now. Warriors, I have avenged you. In order to clear himself of suspicion, Chen Yu successively participated in several interview programs to prove that he had always been in the country. If Chen Yu had run to the other side of the earth to commit murder, it was estimated that the whole world would think it was just a joke. This time, the Americans were destined to suffer a dumb loss, and even had to hide the matter from the outside world. Chen Yu had been paying attention to the news there these days. However, no news of the collective disappearance of a group of American senior officials could be seen. Instead, Vice President Harrison temporarily took over as the American president. And another presidential candidate, Donald Trump, questioned why Biden handed over power to Harrison. He found a place to recuperate indefinitely and couldn't be seen. In fact, Trump didn't know that Biden was already dead. Since Congress announced that Biden was taking an indefinite leave of absence, Donald Trump's approval rating had broken new highs. Everyone wanted to be president, that was the most powerful position in the world. Trump's questioning quickly soared to international trending searches, and people all over the world were paying attention to the incident. Instead, the news of Biden and his cabinet's disappearance was covered up. Perhaps this was a good show directed and acted by the American Congress in order to divert the public's attention. Chen Yu was at home, watching the American news, and sneered. It's worthy of being a country with Hollywood, such a big thing can be suppressed, and the target of the world's attention can be shifted. It's really awesome, no wonder making movies is so powerful. In a 2-story building in Yanjing, Guangdong, this is top secret information that intelligence personnel risked their lives to send back, take a look. Cao Guangdong picked up the document, read it, and his expression was already dumbfounded. Is this true? Chapter 71. After reading the top secret document, Cao Guangdong looked astonished. He exclaimed, "Chief, is this real?" The chief nodded and said, "We're about 70% sure it's real. There's a video on this USB drive, take a look." Cao Guangdong inserted the USB drive into the computer and clicked play. As he watched, Cao Guangdong kept exclaiming in surprise. Even as a general who had shaken the world, he couldn't contain his shock. How is this possible, this? Cao Guangdong watched the several dozen-second video in shock and horror. "Tell me your thoughts." Cao Guangdong wiped the sweat from his forehead. In the video, it is indeed Chen Yu, but it's impossible for him to be in the United States, thousands of miles away. He was in Zhongcheng during that time. I even communicated with him frequently. Didn't he also participate in several interview events? Guangdong, have you considered that Chen Yu might have other ways to appear in the distant United States? Cao Guangdong fell into deep thought and suddenly realized. "Chief, I think that's possible. I reported to you before that the unit that subdued those American modified humans was sent by Chen Yu. It was a small team composed of robots." "I know, that's what I suspected too. Look at the person in the video, ordinary bullets have no effect on him. It can only be a robot." Cao Guangdong nodded, agreeing with the chief's point of view. "However, Chief, I once asked Chen Yu to provide our military with a robot unit, but he refused. Alas, those kinds of robots possess high-level artificial intelligence. Chen Yu probably doesn't dare to give them to us. However, we must keep this incident a secret. As for Chen Yu's side, we should provide him with as much support as possible. As long as Huanyu technology is around, the revitalization of Yangtze is just around the corner." "Yes, Chief." At this moment, the American political circles had already set off a bloody storm. Many parties had more or less learned the truth of the matter. In Trump Tower, Donald Trump, with his flowing golden hair, looked at the scenery of New York City through the window, his brow furrowed. Standing next to him was Rogers, the Minister of Science and Technology who had survived the assassination attempt. "Mr. Trump, your inauguration is basically a certainty. It's time you knew these secrets." Trump turned around, his eyes narrowed, looking at Rogers with an imposing air, and then pointed to his ears, saying in an icy tone. "Tell me, who was behind the attack on me? Was it that bitch?" Rogers' expression was grave. At this time, saying the wrong word could have serious consequences. "Mr. Trump, I really don't know about this." Trump looked at Rogers with disappointment. "By the way, how are your research projects progressing? As long as Congress approves and continues to invest research funds in me, I believe my research will bring America back to the top of the world." "Good, I will approve your research project. However, Chen Yu of Yangtze's Huanyu technology has really gone too far this time. Although it's beneficial to my election, he must be punished. This is the face of America. This kind of sanction is obviously a violation of international conventions, but America controlled public opinion and silenced the world. Yangtze experienced a nationwide internet outage, and the entire country was severely affected. The financial industry and the e-commerce industry were all paralyzed. America's attack can be said to have cut off Yangtze's retreat. They really didn't expect them to be so ruthless. Domestic experts disconnected from the International Access Network. Modified the domestic network protocol, connecting the military and official internal networks together, barely maintaining basic operations. Cao Guangdong rushed to Huanyu Technology Park in a hurry. In Chen Yu's office, Cao Guangdong's expression was solemn. "Chen Yu, the situation has now reached its most serious point. If this continues, many industries within Yangtze will collapse. Do you have any solutions?" After America issued the ban, Chen Yu had already begun preparing to deal with the matter before Yang Zia's internet stopped. General CAO, you don't have to worry. I'm already thinking of a solution. Tomorrow, I can solve the current problems Yang Zia is facing. CAO Guang's eyes lit up. Chen Yu was still awesome, able to solve the current huge problem in one day. Chen Yu, what exactly is your solution? Hehe, General CAO, you will know by tomorrow. Not only will we be able to perfectly solve this internet outage, but even the whole world will have to beg us. Just wait and see. CAO Guangd was confused, but Chen Yu's calm and confident expression didn't seem like he was bragging. Thinking that Chen Yu could always come up with something shocking to the world, CAO Guangd nodded heavily. Chen Yu, I believe you. If you help the country through this crisis, we will all be very grateful to you. We will fully satisfy any needs you have in the future. Chen Yu thought of the underground base under construction, and the 3 home world-class colony ships, his eyes lit up. General CAO, I do have some troubles now. Tell us, we will definitely help if we can. I need a lot of resources now. General CAO, the construction of my technology park requires a large amount of building materials, including steel, rare earths, and some necessary raw materials. I am currently buying a lot across the country, but it is still not enough. I hope to get support in this area. Okay, no problem. You can send me the list of raw materials later, and I will ask the chief for instructions. The entire Yangzia will concentrate its efforts to provide you with the necessary raw materials. Chen Yu's face lit up with joy, and this difficulty was finally resolved. Chen Yu planned to build a home world-class colony ship first, and then drive this ship to outer space to mine for raw materials. After all, the resources on Earth are limited, and now his ship number 1, although large enough. But if it goes mining, often thousands of tons or tens of thousands of tons, it is still too small. The home world-class ship is different, that thing can load tens of millions of tons at a time. After sending CAO Guangd away, Chen Yu communicated with the AI. AI, tomorrow is your time to shine. By then, I will make the whole world beg us. No problem, this is easy. Chapter 72. The next day, due to the Internet Protocol rules set by the United States excluding Yangzia, Yangzia's network equipment became incompatible, leading to a complete Internet shutdown. The entire country was plunged into panic, and many industries were forced to stop operating, resulting in huge losses. Chen Yu arrived at Huanyu Technology, where the employees were working anxiously, as the entire company's network was down. Half an hour passed, and the underlying systems of all network-connected devices worldwide were replaced with Huanyu Technology's Fuxi AI intelligence system, including every computer and every mobile phone in the world. Every internet-connected IoT device, including medical equipment, smart cars, smart hardware, etc. The Fuxi AI intelligence system is compatible with the underlying code of any network device in the world. Existing software can continue to be used on these devices, and the operation method and interface are exactly the same as before. People are almost completely unaware that their computers and mobile phones have had their operating systems changed. It can even be said that the Fuxi AI intelligence system is like a virus, parasitizing the bottom layer of these devices, ready to be dispatched by Chen Yu at any time. Now that Chen Yu controls the world's network equipment, the Internet rules set by the United States are like a piece of waste paper. Captain, the International Internet Protocol has been modified, Yangzia has now restored Internet access, and the network has fully recovered. Good, next, it's time to make the United States pay the price, suspend their financial industry, I want to wait for them to beg me. Okay, Captain. Yangzia's network was fully restored, and major news media rushed to report it. Relying on Yangzia's strong order management, during the internet outage. Although it caused some impact, after the network was restored, order immediately returned to its original state. On the other side of the world, Wall Street in the United States was in a frenzy. Because their entire financial system had completely collapsed, in addition to being unable to connect to the internet. The servers that stored financial data and bank data were also completely paralyzed. The large financial companies here control trillions of dollars in assets worldwide. If the servers cannot be restored, the entire United States financial influence in the world will completely collapse. The world economy will experience chaotic order, including those industries that the United States invested in Yangzia, and even the bosses may not be able to be found. Newly appointed acting President Harrison had just moved into the White House when she encountered such a thorny issue. An emergency meeting was being held in the largest conference room in the White House, with many CEOs of large American technology companies present, including Apple CEO Cook, Microsoft's Bill Gates, Tesla's Elon Musk, etc. Secretary of Commerce Humphreys reported to Harrison, "Madam President, Yang Jie has restored the Internet, they even forcibly modified the International Internet Protocol, and we don't know what technical means they used to collapse our financial industry." At this time, Microsoft's Bill Gates stood up and explained to the many newly formed members of the American cabinet, "Madam President, ladies and gentlemen, what I am about to say may cause panic, and even bring our entire United States back to the Stone Age." All the American high-level officials present were shocked. At this time, Apple CEO Cook also stood up and said, "I think we should have discovered the same crisis as Microsoft." President Harrison waved her hand and said, "Then, tell us what you have discovered." Microsoft founder Bill Gates said heavily, "After our company's system engineers discovered that our system has been tampered with, we tested all network devices on the market, and the underlying system is no longer our own American system, and our engineers found that this underlying system cannot be deleted at all, the code is very advanced, and our top engineers can't understand it." Cook also echoed, "Yes, our Apple system has also been tampered with, although the operating logic and software compatibility have not changed in any way, the underlying system is no longer a system that we can control, they can replace us at any time, and we cannot delete this system, it is like a virus, it will spread to every network device." Suddenly, all the American high-level officials present gasped. Who on earth has such advanced and terrifying technology, which is equivalent to controlling the world's computers, mobile phones, and various network terminals? If this virus system spreads to the American military's weapons and equipment, wouldn't it be up to the other party to decide who these weapons will hit? Just then, the huge display screen on the wall opposite the conference room, which was responsible for playing video files, suddenly lit up. This startled the American high-level officials in the conference room. A Huanyu Technology logo appeared on the screen, followed by a cute 3D robot image. The robot stood in the center of the video and said to all the American high-level officials present, "Hello, despicable new American high-level officials, I am Huanyu Technology's new Fuxi AI intelligent system, now the world's internet is under my control, including all mobile phones, computers, tablets, and devices connected to the internet, including your satellites." Suddenly, the sound of gasping in the conference room became even louder. In this way, the United States would have no secrets, and all lifelines would be restrained. "By the way, I will restore your financial system in 24 hours, and after that, I will not interfere with your technology products. As for this time, it is just a small punishment. I hope you will not target Yang Jie and Huanyu Technology again, otherwise, your United States will return to the Stone Age overnight. This is what my master Chen Yu said, and also, how is your President Biden? If you don't want to follow in his footsteps, then please be a little more peaceful." The display slowly went out, and the conference room was silent. This was simply a blatant threat. Newly appointed President Harrison was trembling all over. As the first female acting president, she never thought that as soon as she took office, the entire country would be controlled by others. The Minister of Science and Technology immediately reminded everyone, "Everyone, quickly take out your mobile phones and any devices on your body that can connect to the internet. These things may become listening devices." Chapter 73. With Roger's reminder, coupled with their recent experience of Universal Technologies' network intrusion methods. So, everyone took out their mobile phones, smart sports bracelets, and smart watches, all of which were taken out of the conference room by dedicated personnel. Even the power of the network display that was just used was unplugged. After ensuring that there were no network devices in the conference room, the meeting continued. "Let's talk, how should we deal with this crisis?" Harrison said with a solemn expression. Rogers stood up and expressed his views. "Our most pressing issue at the moment is to find a way to delete the Universal Technology virus system, but we must also prepare for the worst. Immediately disconnect our military network from the international internet, use physical means to completely replace all new mainframes and servers, use a completely new closed network to prevent the invasion of the virus system, and let our powerful American military forces regain control." Rogers' proposal was supported by everyone. As for civilian equipment such as computers and mobile phones, the United States is already powerless. They can only hope that universal technology will do what they say and not interfere with the normal operation of these devices. As for Yangzia, they can only maintain a friendly relationship. The United States has now realized that Yangzia has such a perverted enterprise as universal technology. It seems that the whole world can hardly stop the rise of Yangzia. Previously, the Western countries secretly controlled global public opinion and smeared Yangzia's news. After universal technology took control of the global internet, they were all deleted. In the future, it will be impossible for the United States to use public opinion warfare to deal with Yangzia. Now Yangzia has the final say in global public opinion. Global mainstream media and websites are now vigorously promoting the beauty of Yangzia, how safe it is domestically, how well the people live, and how beautiful the scenery is. This made Westerners feel that they had been deceived by their governments, and that Yangzia was originally a super-civilized country. It even made many foreigners regard Yangzia as the country they most want to travel to in this lifetime. Yangzia's image reached its peak in one fell swoop, which is the result of universal technology's control of global public opinion. Next, the United States and many EU countries, including Bangsa country and Sakura country, sent a large number of their representatives to Yangzia. They also brought many contracts, asking Yangzia to cooperate with them. The previous ban now seems like a joke. Even the United States came to Neil and Lick, asking Yangzia to export goods to them, and requesting to restore commercial exchanges with Yangzia. Half a month later, Chen Yu was in a 300-meter deep underground shelter, checking the progress of construction. The voice of the intelligent brain sounded in his mind. "Captain, you have an important phone call coming in, do you want to answer it?" Chen Yu took out his mobile phone. Unlike the sea, there is no signal at 300 meters underground, but the intelligent brain can receive it. "Who called? That you have to tell me separately." "It's your country's leader." Chen Yu's expression was startled, it was actually the leader calling. "There is no signal now, how can I answer it?" "You can answer it normally, I will use brain waves to transmit the signal." Chen Yu nodded. He picked up the phone, and then saw a call coming in. Chen Yu answered normally. "Hello, Chen Yu." Leader, why are you calling me?" "Ha ha ha, I called specifically to thank you." "Hee, leader, I am a Yangzia person, these are all things I should do." After ending the call with the leader, Chen Yu sighed. Now Yangzia is indeed developing like the sun in the sky, but this is only the prosperity before the end comes. But it's also good, these 20 or 30 years will also allow Yangzia to enjoy the demeanor of the world's number one. These days, the United States seems to have calmed down, and has also signed a comprehensive trade intercommunication agreement with Yangzia. But secretly they are still very restless. Area 51, in a secret underground base. In a huge laboratory, there is an alien spaceship with a fairly complete appearance, but if you look closely, you can still see some damaged places. Overall, this alien spaceship presents a triangular shape. The damage is not serious. Only the wings and some surfaces are slightly damaged. The length of the spacecraft is about 100 meters, which is relatively large among the wreckage. A professor in a white coat stepped forward and said to Rogers, "Minister, this is the most complete alien spaceship we found in the wreckage. Do we really want to open the hatch violently? You have been researching for so many years, and you still can't open the hatch. Now I can't wait. If this spaceship can still fly, it will bring new hope to our America. Okay, then I will arrange for someone to prepare a hydraulic press." Immediately, heavy hydraulic equipment appeared in the laboratory. It is used to prop open the spaceship hatch. After debugging, the hydraulic device began to violently prop open the spaceship hatch. This is a hydraulic device specially developed for this door breaking, and its power is very strong. But the hydraulic press still made a buzzing roar, which shows the hardness of the spaceship hatch. "Continue to increase the power of the hydraulic press." Rogers roared. A staff member in a white coat pressed a button, and the hydraulic press increased its power again. At this moment, the sci-fi control room inside the spaceship was originally dark and silent. Suddenly, a light curtain similar to a screen slowly lit up, and then more light curtains in the control room lit up. A voice sounded in the control room, speaking in an alien language. Detecting that the spacecraft is being damaged, the standby system is successfully activated. Detecting the environment where the spacecraft is located, detecting an intelligent low-level human civilization, invading the planet's network, invasion successful. Detecting whether the planet is a registered planet of the Interstellar Federation, detection successful, the planet is not registered, it is in an unclaimed state, the planet's environment is extremely suitable for human survival, and it has extremely high colonial value. Detecting the star field to which the spacecraft belongs, detection successful, the current spacecraft is located in the outer reaches of the Orion arm of the Milky Way, the M67 star field on the edge of the Interstellar Federation, and the planet's location has been automatically transmitted back to the home star via quantum communication. Detecting that the spacecraft's energy reactor is malfunctioning, the standby energy is about to run out. And a quantum distress signal has been sent to the home star. And at this moment in Zhongcheng, Yangzia, the voice of the intelligent brain sounded in Chen Yu's mind. Captain, I just detected a special signal in the United States that does not belong to this world, and it has connected to the Internet. Chapter 74. Chen Yu was puzzled. Special signal? Was America up to some secret weapon again? What do you mean? According to my decryption of the signal, these signals should be from a Level 2 civilization spacecraft that crashed on Earth. This signal invaded the Earth's network, obtained Earth's information, and then exited. Could it be America's doing? It shouldn't be. According to my analysis, America doesn't have the ability to crack alien communication equipment. This is likely the Level 2 civilization alien spacecraft's self-preservation system activating and scanning the Earth's network. So what if it did? Captain, what I want to say is that Earth's location may have been exposed. We haven't built a quantum communication base station yet, so we can't intercept quantum communications. Just now, the Level 2 civilization spacecraft that sent the signal most likely transmitted the location of the starfield where Earth is to their home planet. Chen Yu's heart skipped a beat. Was the day he had imagined finally arriving? If aliens were to descend upon Earth, according to the dark forest theory of the universe, they would either enslave you or destroy you. These were both unbearable pains for Earth. AI, if Earth is discovered by aliens, what will happen? I am not a civilization from your Milky Way galaxy, and I don't know how advanced civilizations in your Milky Way handle other life-bearing planets. I'll just tell you about our methods. We generally assess the value of the planet. A planet like Earth, suitable for intelligent humanoids to live on, is extremely valuable. With some nurturing, it can be used as an industrial production base. Industrial base? Wouldn't that mean treating Earthlings as slaves? That's roughly the idea. We would have Earthlings work 5 days a week, 8 hours a day, provide only 3 meals and snacks a day, and only breakfast would have milk. They would only get a 1-hour lunch break and be provided with the most basic 5 insurances and 1 fund. To increase the productivity of Earthlings, overtime would be paid at 3 times the wage. For the health of these slaves, they would also be forced to exercise for an hour after work. For slaves who can't find a wife, we would provide matchmaking services to continue the race. This is our planet's standard for enslaving other planets. AI, then you guys should come and enslave Earth quickly. Earthlings need you. Even if I rule Earth, I dare not say I can do as well as you. But I want to tell you, don't watch Earth's short videos, it's easy to become stupid. Captain, if other advanced civilizations discover Earth, the natives here have a high probability of being enslaved or even erased because Earth, after being modified, is very suitable for cosmic carbon-based humanoids to live on. This was the first time Chen Yu had heard the term cosmic carbon-based humanoids from the AI. AI, what are carbon-based humanoids? It's people like you Earthlings, and the humans from our home planet, all belong to carbon-based humanoids. Under the AI's explanation, Chen Yu learned that a type of carbon-based life, carbon-based humanoids, widely existed in the universe. Their appearance and body shape were surprisingly unified in the universe, or rather, extremely similar. This directly subverted Darwin's theory of evolution. For example, the humans from the AI's home planet were generally taller and stronger than Earthlings. Their brains were also larger, with 3 times the brain capacity of Earthlings, which is why their technology was so advanced. Moreover, humans were a powerful race in the universe. From Level 1 civilizations to Level 7 civilizations, there were human figures. Of course, besides humans, there were also other alien races, but we won't talk about them here for now. Perhaps it was the result of a god-level civilization that controlled the laws of time sowing seeds throughout the universe, but this was just Chen Yu's guess. AI, since Earth has a high probability of being discovered, then we must speed up our progress. At least you are a product of a Level 7 civilization. We must build our own interstellar fleet to deal with the alien invasion that may come in the future. Captain, I will help you. I'm still counting on you to find my crew members. I will help you after I solve the Earth's problems. America, in the underground secret base of Area 51. Rogers looked at the two heavy hydraulic presses that had been blown apart and cursed. Fuck. What are you guys researching? That's clearly just a hatch, and you can't even open it. The white-coated professor next to him had an extremely ugly expression on his face. And after the third hydraulic press also exploded, everyone lost confidence. Roger's expression was solemn. Now that Yangzia was rising comprehensively, America was rapidly declining. Moreover, America's underground shelter bases were under full construction. The materials and raw materials needed now were astronomical figures every day. If Yangzia's economic rise was allowed to continue, America would inevitably be at a disadvantage in the competition for resources. Recently, Yangzia had restarted the allocation ratio for the mining of Africa's largest iron ore mine. Once Yangzia completely took over this iron ore mine, America would build many fewer shelter bases. This iron ore mine was equivalent to the lives of the American people in the future. Rogers wanted to break this stalemate and could only start with these alien civilizations. He didn't expect that Earthlings were still too small, unable to even open someone else's hatch. He didn't dare to use explosives, in case it was destroyed, the loss would be even greater. Just as Rogers was at a loss, the alien hatch actually opened by itself. A burst of electrical mechanical sound. The alien spacecraft hatch slowly opened, revealing the illuminated passage inside. Rogers looked at this scene in disbelief. The white-coated professor exclaimed. It's open, it's open, it opened by itself. Rogers acted cautiously, and he immediately had all the staff in the huge laboratory come out. With these alien things, who knew what might be hidden inside? After all, in those space science fiction movies made by Hollywood, there were terrifying things like aliens in the spacecraft. If they rushed out and implanted an egg in the bodies of these staff members, that would be terrifying. After everyone left the laboratory, Rogers observed the spacecraft through the glass to see what reaction it would have next. But after a long time, the spacecraft only opened the hatch. The white-coated professor suggested. Minister, should we send someone in to explore? Rogers frowned. We can't even open the hatch. If we send people in, once the hatch closes, wouldn't that be sending those people to their deaths? The white-coated professor's face revealed fanaticism. Minister, I am willing to lead the team into the exploration. Even if I am locked inside to wait for death, I will not regret it. Immediately, a group of scientists behind Rogers showed the same fanatical expressions as the white-coated professor. These were all mad scientists who were obsessed with research, and sometimes for these novel things, they would even be crazy enough not to be afraid of death. After thinking for a while, Rogers instructed. Okay, everyone voluntarily signs up to select a 5-person exploration team to go deep into the interior of the alien spacecraft to check, but this mission cannot guarantee their life safety. As soon as Rogers finished speaking, several scientists behind him raised their hands to sign up. It seemed that no matter where, there were warriors who sacrificed themselves for science. Chapter 75. America, inside a secret laboratory in Area 51. Rogers looked at the white-coated professor, who was leading a team of 5 people with complete equipment. After you enter the spaceship, be careful not to touch any machinery or equipment. Just take pictures of the environment inside, Rogers reminded them. The 5 scientists were exceptionally excited, seemingly not afraid of dying inside. Even if they died, they would be thrilled to die inside an alien spaceship. After preparing, the 5 entered the laboratory and slowly walked towards the spaceship's hatch. Rogers and a group of researchers watched the scientists exploring from behind the glass. Everyone was quite nervous at this moment, as this was humanity's first exploration of the interior of a complete alien spaceship. The white-coated professor finally led the team into the alien spaceship's hatch. What he saw was a bright passage extending inward. The white-coated professor used real-time filming equipment to broadcast the scene inside to the outside world. After the white-coated professor and the others entered the spaceship, Rogers looked at the huge screen next to him. It was broadcasting real-time footage from inside the spaceship. The passage was bright and full of metallic textures. On both sides of the passage, there were some switches and equipment, the purpose of which was unknown. The white-coated professor continued to walk inward and encountered some other hatches, but they were all closed, with opening devices next to them. The 5 continued to go deeper until a huge, bright cabin came into view. Without thinking, the white-coated professor led the others inside. Seeing the environment here and the light curtains around them, with the 3D image of the spaceship rotating on it, the white-coated professor was so excited that he couldn't close his mouth. This is the spaceship's control room. We actually came to the spaceship's control room. The white-coated professor and the others looked around the control room, recording and studying. However, they didn't dare to touch any machines or buttons. Rogers also watched this scene in real time outside, and a scientist next to him reminded him. "Mr. Secretary, it seems that there is no danger inside, and there are no monsters or anything." Rogers was still not at ease and asked the white-coated professor and the others to go everywhere they could inside. Only the main control room and a place that didn't look like a cabin could be entered. Afterward, Rogers ordered the white-coated professor and the others to come out of the spaceship. He was going to go in and take a look himself. After the white-coated professor and the others came out of the spaceship safely, it basically proved that there was no danger inside the spaceship. "Okay, let our best researchers bring the most complete pulse emitter taken from the other spaceship and follow me in to find out." According to decades of research, American scientists have found a pulse device in the wreckage that is similar to a short-range scanner or communicator in the spaceship. This device can emit a pulse signal. After research, this pulse signal can activate the relatively complete laser weapons they found in the wreckage. The laser guns in the hands of the modified soldiers before were the technology that the Americans deciphered from these laser weapons. Rogers led a group of scientists into the spaceship. They advanced along the passage and arrived at the command room. Rogers was also shocked when he saw the real interior of the alien spaceship. Everywhere there were light curtains that could display images, not the low-level screens of Earth. After fiddling with it for a long time, they connected a special power supply, and the pulse emitter lit up with a blue light. In just an instant, it went out. Rogers nervously observed the surroundings, wondering if the spaceship would respond. A few seconds later, the spaceship seemed to have really received the signal. A mechanical voice sounded, in an alien language that Earthlings certainly couldn't understand. "Detecting matching signal source, activating spaceship control program. Detecting spaceship entering unfamiliar race, identified as indigenous race of this planet, communication possible. Connecting to planetary network, deciphering language of this planet, deciphering in progress, deciphering successful." Rogers and many scientists nervously listened to these incomprehensible alien bird languages. Just when they were all dumbfounded, suddenly, an Earth language they could understand sounded in the command room. "Earth humans, I am the Spaceship Intelligence System of Messeret, a registered planet of the Milky Way M36 star field, Milky Way Interstellar Federation. I need your help. The spaceship's energy is about to run out and urgently needs reaction materials for the energy reactor." Rogers was extremely excited when he heard the Earth language coming from the spaceship. He boldly said, Intelligent System of Messeret, we can help you, but I have a request." "Speak, if it is within my authority and I can do it, I can help you." Rogers was overjoyed. He was the first human to communicate with an alien intelligence system. This was a small step for him, but a big step for Earthlings. "Intelligence system, we need technology, especially weapons. Can you give us the manufacturing technology of the weapons on the spaceship?" Rogers asked cautiously. "My program contains the manufacturing technology and blueprints of all the weapons on the spaceship, but my underlying rules do not allow me to leak these technologies, so I cannot fulfill your request." Rogers frowned. How could it be impossible? He was already communicating with an alien intelligence system, so why couldn't he? Just when Rogers was extremely depressed, the spaceship's intelligence system sounded again. "Although I cannot directly give you these technologies, I can give you some underlying calculation formulas, including the controllable nuclear fusion technology, high-energy light wave aggregation technology, and high molecular material synthesis formula that you have been longing for." The intelligence system spoke at once about many of the most basic scientific formulas and underlying logic, which was enough to inspire American scientists. Rogers' expression changed from gloomy to excited. It seemed that when there is life, there is hope. Chapter 76. If the United States has these underlying logics and formulas, then creating the power system and weapon system for spaceships is only a matter of time. In the future, won't the United States have the hope of building space battleships? Rogers immediately agreed to trade with the intelligence system of this alien spaceship. They provide the spaceship with the raw materials for the spaceship's energy reactor, which is the raw material for controlled nuclear fusion, deuterium and tritium. The content of these two substances in nature is too low, and tritium is also a radioactive substance. Fortunately, humans have mastered the extraction technology of these two substances. After the transaction was completed, the United States obtained the underlying logic and basic scientific formulas provided by the intelligent system. There is also a comparison table of alien languages and Earth languages, allowing the United States to further study other wreckage. The previously insurmountable problems were broken through with the help of the basic logic obtained this time. Several alien weapons, which seem to be powerful weapons at present, have also been secretly developed by the United States. With the precedent of universal technology controlling the global network, from then on, all research in the United States on alien technology. All have been physically isolated from the outside network. There is no network cable, and no wireless network connects the alien technology research base. Even if Chen Yu's Fuxi AI intelligent system is more awesome, it cannot invade the equipment in these bases out of thin air. So, Chen Yu didn't know that the United States had developed new powerful weapons. Another month passed, and Yangtze almost became the center of the world during this period. Its influence in the world is comparable to the prosperous Tang dynasty. All countries in the world come to curry favor with Yangtze. Many foreigners come to Yangtze for tourism, and see that Yangtze is so safe, the scenery is so beautiful, and the people are so happy. Thinking about their own countries, there are many thieves, shootings occur frequently, and people dare not go out at night. Looking at Yangtze again, they feel that this is heaven. The official media of their countries once smeared Yangtze. They said that Yangtze people are barbaric and rude, and all are dangerous people. Their country is very backward. Foreigners will die if they go there. More than half of the country has no electricity. These brainless blacks made those foreign people afraid to come to Yangtze. Now they see the beauty and power of Yangtze with their own eyes. Everything has been completely subverted. They are all lies that their country slandered Yangtze. Universal Technology Park. Tens of thousands of construction robots are busy, and Chen Yu's #1 mothership on the moon is still constantly manufacturing these construction robots. Chen Yu knows that if he wants to improve construction efficiency, the more robots the better. Under the non-stop work of tens of thousands of construction robots, Chen Yu's large-scale space warship manufacturing plant has been completed. Moreover, while the shipyard was being built, the parts for the first home-class spacecraft were also being built simultaneously. Currently, 1/3 has been completed. Chen Yu previously wanted to use the large landing ship on the #1 mothership to transport these parts into space for assembly. But the home-class spacecraft is extremely huge, like a space city. There are hundreds of millions of parts, and many of them are very huge. Only the #1 mothership can be used for transportation, but this is less efficient. Chen Yu found a new solution in the technology library. He is going to build a space elevator. It can continuously transport a large number of parts and materials to space. The technology of space elevators is very simple for Chen Yu now. Universal technology has made such a great contribution to the country. The chief of Yanjing ordered that as long as universal technology wants materials, the whole country will do its best to satisfy them. However, these materials also need to be bought with Chen Yu's money. The country cannot provide them for free. If you don't want money, the national economy will collapse. Although Chen Yu's new energy vehicles are almost selling like crazy, and the whole world is coming to order them. Chips and mainframes have begun to sell to the world. In just over a month, the daily income has reached 8 billion. It is not far from Apple, the most profitable company in the world, which earns 9.4 billion a day. Give universal technology a little more time, and surpassing Apple is a sure thing. Even if Chen Yu is so good at making money. In the face of the raw materials needed to build the home #1 spacecraft, as well as the materials for the underground base, etc., it is still stretched. Chen Yu can now be said to be very poor. Earning 8 billion a day is not enough to spend. Chen Yu stood on the newly built central building of the technology park, looking at the endless construction scene below, his heart was heroic. Alas, there is still not enough money to spend. When my home #1 spacecraft is completed, I will go to space to mine. Then I won't have to buy materials on Earth. Chen Yu complained to himself. At this moment, Chen Yu's phone rang. He picked it up and saw that it was from his mother. He quickly answered the phone. "Mom, what's the matter? Come home quickly. Your dad is arguing with your uncle, second uncle, and aunt." When Chen Yu heard this, his expression instantly turned cold. Thinking of these three relatives, the eldest uncle, the second uncle, and the eldest uncle. When he failed to start a business and owed a lot of money, when he returned to his hometown to borrow some money from them, each of their faces was stranger than strangers. At that time, he was ridiculed beyond recognition, a useless person, a mud that could never be supported. After he made money, he bought a big villa in his hometown for his parents as soon as possible, and hired several servants to take care of his parents. Now these three families probably want to come to his parents to get benefits. His father can't stand it and started arguing with them. Even his father, who always had a good temper, started arguing, which shows how hateful these three families are. Mom, don't worry. Wait for me to come back and deal with it. Tell those three families to wait. I will give them a surprise. After Chen Yu comforted his mother, he went downstairs, got into his small landing ship, and headed straight for his hometown. Chen Yu's hometown is not in Zhongcheng, but in Yuncheng, hundreds of kilometers away from Zhongcheng. After flying for about a few minutes, he arrived in Yuncheng and came to the big villa he bought for his parents. The landing ship landed stealthily. Chen Yu walked out of the landing ship and headed straight for the villa hall. As soon as he walked to the door, he heard a loud male voice inside. Chen Jiangguo, we are brothers. Your property should be divided among us. Now your son is promising. It is said that he is the chairman of a big group. Are you not recognizing your brothers now? Chen Yu frowned deeply at the door. This loud voice was his uncle's, a calculating and stingy rascal. Chen Yu stepped into the villa and saw that his uncle, second uncle, and aunt's family were all here. Their people occupied all the luxurious sofas, lying on their backs. His mother, Xiao Shahen, could only sit on a small stool next to her, looking very aggrieved. His father didn't even have a place to sit, standing alone in front of everyone, confronting these rogue relatives. When Chen Yu saw this scene, he was immediately angry. This is his home. These shameless relatives actually dared to bully his parents. When his mother, Xiao Shahen, saw that her son had returned so quickly, a look of surprise appeared on her face. She jumped up from the small stool and quickly stepped forward to grab Chen Yu's arm. Xiaoyu, you're finally back. Chapter 77. The others in the living room also saw Chen Yu return. Uncle, second uncle, and even uncle and aunt, their previous arrogance suddenly subsided a lot. Chen Yu patted his mother's hand, comforting her. Mom, don't panic, I'll handle things here. When the uncle saw Chen Yu coming back, he shouted at him. Hey, Chen Yu, you're back just in time. You bought such a big villa for your parents and hired several nannies. Such a big thing, you didn't even tell us relatives. If we hadn't heard the news from former neighbors, we would have been kept in the dark. Now that you're successful, and supposedly the chairman of a large group, have you forgotten about us relatives with blood ties? The uncle spoke with confidence, and the second uncle and uncle next to him echoed. That's right, Xiao Yu, we've watched you grow up since you were a child. We are your blood relatives. Now that you're rich, you should let us enjoy the good life too. That's right, when your family was poor, I gave you a few pounds of rice. Why are you turning your back on us now that you've grown up? The more Chen Yu listened, the more he wanted to laugh. When he was a child, his family was the poorest in the family. He had also asked these relatives for help, but they always ridiculed and mocked him, and never looked up to his family. Once, the land in the village was contracted, and the money that his family should have received was embezzled by his uncle and second uncle. His family only found out a few years later. They lived so miserably those years, but which of them had helped? Before, when Chen Yu's business failed, he returned to his hometown and borrowed money from these relatives, but he was still met with ruthless ridicule. Chen Yu bought a villa for his parents without telling these relatives, just to cut off contact with them forever. He didn't expect these blind things to come to his door automatically. Everyone even had a plausible reason to ask for money. Chen Yu walked up to his uncle and asked with a cold expression. Uncle, tell me, what did you help my family with when I was a kid? Why should I let you enjoy the good life with me? The uncle frowned and thought, but all he could think of were memories of cheating Chen Yu's family. After thinking for a long time, the uncle's eyes lit up. Xiao Yu, when you came to my house when you were a kid, didn't I give you candy? You should remember that. Chen Yu smiled sarcastically, of course he remembered. His son accidentally dropped the candy on the ground, and it was covered in mud and he didn't want to eat it. Then the uncle casually wiped it off and threw it to him. Chen Yu was young at that time, but it didn't mean he didn't understand anything. He didn't expect his uncle to be so shameless as to bring up such a thing. Uncle, you are really good to me. A piece of candy covered in mud also requires me to repay you with a spring. Your abacus beads are popping on my face. You. Xiao Yu, we are all your relatives. Now that you're making big money, giving us some to spend will prove that you're filial, right? Why should I be filial to you? When my family was poor, did you help us when we asked you for help? Before, when my business failed, did you lend me some money to tide me over? The more Chen Yu thought about it, the angrier he became. The reason why he committed suicide before was because he was desperate for life, as if no one in the world would help him. Fortunately, it turned out to be a blessing in disguise, and now he is awesome. The second uncle stepped forward, pointed at Chen Yu's nose, and lectured him in the tone of an elder. Xiao Yu, no matter what, we are your elders. Now that you're making big money, you have a responsibility to be filial to us. You don't want to ruin your reputation, do you? Chen Yu chuckled a few times, full of sarcasm. Hehe, I don't need to be filial to relatives like you, and I have no responsibility or obligation to fulfill my filial duties to you. Leave my house immediately, otherwise don't blame me for being rude. The second uncle immediately became angry. He put his hands on his hips, looking like a rogue. Chen Yu, although we are uneducated, we still know a little bit about the law. In your situation of making big money, you need to be filial to us elders. If you don't fulfill your responsibilities, we'll see you in court. The second uncle didn't know where he heard this legal knowledge, and he was obviously being fooled. In fact, what the lawyer meant was the distribution of Chen Yu's father, Chen Jiangguo's, property after his death. If the children and spouse do not inherit, they, as brothers, have the right to inherit. But these words, when put in the ears of these uneducated relatives, are equivalent to saying that they also have a share of the villa that Chen Yu bought for his father. In addition, they originally wanted to extort money from Chen Yu's family, so no matter whether it was reasonable or not, they would make a scene. Soon, several security guards came to the villa. When Chen Yu came here to buy the villa before, the property staff recognized Chen Yu. Mr. Chen, we will drive these people away. We are really sorry for disturbing your family. Don't let them in the future. With their status, they are not qualified to enter this level of villa. Okay, Mr. Chen, this time it was our negligence. Next time, no matter what they say, we won't let them in. Chen Yu's uncle and second uncle were furious when they heard Chen Yu say that they were not qualified to enter here. They immediately cursed at Chen Yu, and all kinds of nasty words came out. The property and security guards saw this scene and felt that these people's qualities were indeed not suitable for entering the villas here. Chen Yu didn't want to argue with them in the first place, but these relatives were really cursing too harshly, and even cursed his parents. Chen Yu's face changed, and he waved his hand to let the security guards wait. The uncle and second uncle thought that Chen Yu was afraid, but they didn't expect Chen Yu to just look at them coldly. I didn't want to bother with you in the first place, but your mouths are really smelly. Chen Yu took out his phone and sent a message. Then he sat on the sofa and waited. After only 10 minutes or so, a row of police cars, at least 20 or 30, pulled up to the entrance of the villa with sirens. Several middle-aged policemen got out of the first car, and it was obvious at a glance that they were of a very high level. When they came to the villa and saw Chen Yu, the leading policeman in the middle extended his hand. Oh, Mr. Chen, why didn't you tell us when you came back to Yuncheng? I am Lu Chongsheng, the head of the Yuncheng City Public Security Bureau, and these are the leaders of the Municipal Bureau. Chen Yu shook hands with Lu Chongsheng. This battle startled the property and Chen Yu's relatives present. The endless police cars outside the villa were enough to prove Chen Yu's energy. With one phone call, the head of the city's Public Security Bureau came to deal with it in person. After Chen Yu shook hands with Lu Chongsheng, he looked at the uncle, second uncle, and uncle's family who were already silent. Director Lu, arrest all these people who trespassed into my house and sentence them to the maximum penalty. Chen Yu can't be said to be ruthless. He didn't want to fall out with these relatives in the first place, but they cursed too harshly, mainly cursing his parents. Lu Chongsheng was very discerning and immediately expressed. Mr. Chen, these people trespassed into a private residence. According to the Yangtze law, the maximum sentence is 3 years. I guarantee you that these people will not want to come out within 3 years. If they have other criminal records, we will definitely give them a heavy sentence. Lu Changshen's words immediately panicked the uncle, second uncle, and uncle's family. They began to act like rascals, lying on the ground and wailing, and began to admit their mistakes. They only knew now that Chen Yu was different from before. Lu Chongsheng waved his hand, and 20 or 30 policemen rushed into the villa and forcibly arrested the three families. How arrogant these relatives were when they came, how embarrassed they were when they were taken away. Let them go and step on the sewing machine for 3 years, and they will probably be honest when they come out in the future. Just as Chen Yu was punishing his rogue relatives, a major event occurred in the American Area 51 secret base. Rogers looked at the scene in front of him, his eyes shining. Yangzia, Huanyu technology, you wait, with this thing, we Americans will soon dominate the world. Ha ha ha. Chapter 78. After Chen Yu dealt with those rogue relatives at home, he boarded his landing craft and returned to Zhongcheng. During the flight, Chen Yu received a call from Cao Guangde. Hello, Chen Yu, we in Yangzia have reopened negotiations for the mining rights of Africa's largest iron ore mine. General Cao, that's great news. With Yangzia's current influence, we should be able to exclude the United States and other countries this time. Chen Yu, there's a secret that you should know. Chen Yu was curious about what secret General Cao would tell him. General Cao, please tell me. The other side of the phone seemed to be organizing their words. After a while, Cao Guangde slowly spoke. Chen Yu, after verification by Yangzia's top scientists, we have discovered an anomaly in solar activity. Chen Yu understood, he already knew about this. Cao Guangde continued. Actually, scientists at the Yangzia Astronomical Research Institute discovered the solar anomaly several months ago, but we weren't sure at the time. These past few months, after research and verification by the nation's top astronomical experts, and based on the recent years' changes in solar radiation levels, we have concluded that the radiation released by the Sun will increase geometrically in the coming decades, which will cause a catastrophic extinction event for life on Earth. Cao Guangde finished speaking and then fell silent. Chen Yu sighed and said, General Cao, actually, I already knew. I detected the solar anomaly several months ago. Ah. So you already knew? Yes. Alas, Yangzia has just entered a period of rejuvenation. Give us some more time, and Yangzia will become the most powerful country in the world, but now we face an extinction-level crisis. General Cao, humanity will not go extinct. I will not stand idly by. Chen Yu, do you have a way to keep humanity going? To be honest, I have been preparing for this for several months. Everything Huanyu Technology has done is to save Yangzia. So your company is desperately making money, and the construction materials you need are for building shelters. Yes, in fact, not only am I building shelters, but the United States, and even the European powers, as well as the White Bear country, should all be building their own shelters. This, I already knew. Before, when competing for Africa's largest iron ore mine, those countries, like us, were probably verifying their guesses. Now, these countries should all know the truth about the solar crisis, so next, global strategic materials and various minerals will become targets of contention. Yes, General Cao, but I have a super plan, but it must be supported by the state in the early stages. I need a lot of materials. Chen Yu, this is also the other thing I wanted to tell you today. Ah, General Cao, please speak. Currently, the chief and the higher-ups have decided to build Yangzia's own underground shelter base, so the materials given to you may be greatly reduced. Chen Yu had expected that if the Yangzia government had confirmed that the disaster was about to come, it would not be possible to ignore it. They would definitely build their own shelter base. Even if Chen Yu said that he was also building one, the country is so big and the population is so large that the country could not only trust Chen Yu alone. The country must also consider more people and build a super large shelter base. Even if the doomsday comes, as many people as possible will survive. Although in the movie The Wandering Earth, scientists built planetary engines that could push the Earth away from the solar system. That was just a science fiction film. Even if all of Earth's energy was exhausted, it would not be possible to push a planet at all. Unless Chen Yu unlocks a higher level of alien technology, which may contain corresponding technologies. Therefore, under the condition that the Earth's orbit cannot be changed, if humans want to survive, they must build shelters at least 300 meters underground. Fortunately, there are still 30 years left for mankind. If all human beings in the world unite now and gather all the resources on Earth, When the doomsday comes, perhaps the most people will survive. However, human nature is the most selfish. It is almost impossible to unite humanity. General CAO, I can understand the country's approach. I will purchase the materials I need from other countries. Also, I have some suggestions for building underground shelter bases that I can send to you. Okay, Chen Yu, thank you for your contribution to the country. If a crisis comes in the future, you and your family will be given priority to enter the shelter base. Chen Yu smiled faintly. Hehe, General CAO, don't forget that I am also building a shelter base myself. If you think my shelter base is comfortable to live in, you can bring your family here. Ha ha ha, okay, Chen Yu, although the materials you need will be greatly reduced, I will try my best to get you more within the scope of my authority. Then thank you, General CAO. The main thing was to complete the construction of the one-third completed home-class spaceship as quickly as possible. As long as the home-class spaceship is built, he can go to other planets in the solar system to mine and refine building materials. However, the home-class spaceship is too large, equivalent to building a city in space, and the materials currently needed are too huge. Moreover, only one-third of the parts have been built, and they have not yet been transported to space for assembly. Chen Yu rubbed his forehead. This is really tricky. United States, the largest conference room in the White House. Of course, the entire White House and the outside world have now physically disconnected all network connections to prevent intrusion by Huanyu Technologies' Fuxi AI. Even within 3 kilometers around the White House, the use of wireless network devices is prohibited. In the conference room, Acting President Harrison, the next presidential candidate Donald Trump, and the new U.S. high-level officials are all here. In addition, a large number of American super tycoons have also come. They control 90% of the wealth of the entire United States. It can be said that these wealthy bosses are the real power holders behind the scenes in the United States, and the president is elected by them with money. Acting President Harrison said to everyone in the main seat. Hello everyone, today, the people who can come here almost represent the entire United States. The things I am going to say next, with the information channels of everyone present, may have more or less heard some rumors. Currently, we in the United States are secretly building underground shelters to cope with the future solar crisis. Building a shelter base is a very large super project. We not only need money, but also materials, and now Yangzia is the same as us. Our plan is to plunder global resources and gather them in the United States, but Yangzia's current rise has seriously hindered our US plan, so next, we may launch a war. Chapter 79. At this moment, Mr. Trump, who always acted in a high-profile and eccentric manner, stood up and expressed his views. Ms. Harrison, the military strength of Yangzia is not what it used to be. If we provoke a war, are you confident that we can win? If the United States is dragged into a quagmire of war, it may even affect the construction of existing underground bases. Harrison looked at the Minister of Science and Technology, Rogers, implying that he should stand up and speak. Then, there were a series of powerful weapons developed recently after reaching cooperation with a Level 2 civilization's alien spacecraft. Such as long-range laser cannons, Mach 10 combat aircraft, combat power no less than Yangzia's bullet train, and high-energy space-based weapons. When the video played to the last segment, everyone was shocked by what they saw. Inside was an alien spacecraft, triangular in shape, about 100 meters long, with a sci-fi appearance. This alien spacecraft launched a beam of light from its wing, and then destroyed a huge mountain. This alien spacecraft was the one that had regained its reactor energy, the Level 2 civilization spacecraft. Rogers had reached a new cooperation with the spacecraft's intelligence system, which was to help the United States rule the world. Rogers didn't know that this Level 2 civilization spacecraft had already sent the Earth's location information back to its home star through quantum communication. The reason it was here, helping the United States rule the world, was entirely to wait for its home star to send a fleet over to conquer this life-bearing planet with extremely high colonial value. Unifying the world in advance was also to allow the home star's fleet to colonize better and faster upon arrival. Of course, Rogers didn't know any of this. He still thought the intelligence system was his friend. The video finished playing. Rogers said, "As you have seen, these are all technologies we obtained from the wreckage of alien spacecraft decades ago. The last spaceship has been activated by us, and it can help us rule the world. Even if Yangzia's Huanyu technology also possesses alien technology, they certainly don't have such a complete alien warship as we do. Its combat power is extremely terrifying. I am not exaggerating when I say that one alien warship can defeat all the air forces in the world, including Yangtze's bullet train. Immediately, the people in the conference room applauded. They seemed to believe that the United States was guaranteed to win this time. Jelly Bean Trump frowned slightly, wondering what he was thinking. Acting President Ms. Harris continued. Yangtze has restarted the negotiation on the mining rights of African iron ore mines. If they take all the iron ore, then the construction of our underground bases will be seriously affected. Therefore, now is the time for us to draw our swords. Harrison's proposal was agreed upon by Congress and many senior officials. They absolutely could not let Yangtze monopolize the world's largest iron ore mine, which was the most important raw material for building shelters. Yangtze, Zhongcheng. Chen Yu asked Huanyu Technology Company to purchase steel, oil, rare earths, and various materials from all over the world. Some countries that did not know that a crisis was coming were very happy to receive orders from Huanyu Technology. However, the European and American powers controlled most of the resources, and Chen Yu could only purchase from some small countries, and the quantity was extremely limited. Chen Yu sat in the office, looking at the imported materials, his expression very solemn. Damn it! Why is there so little? Half of my construction robots have stopped working. Crap! Chen Yu thought for a while, what should he do to solve the current shortage of materials? Suddenly, Chen Yu's eyes lit up. Intelligent brain, check the flow of bulk materials in the United States. Chen Yu knew that the United States was also secretly building underground bases now. Their materials were even more massive than Yangtze's, why not extort a sum from them? Captain, the United States currently controls the most mineral resources in the world, including iron ore, copper ore, oil, natural gas, rare earths. Currently, 3 million tons of materials are transported to the United States every day. These materials are gathered in Washington, D.C., Los Santos, New York City, and several other cities. Chen Yu knew that these cities should be where the United States was building underground shelters. Damn, 3 million tons a day, that's really generous. The total mass of an empty home world-class spaceship is about 150 million tons. If he robbed the United States of these materials, wouldn't it be built in less than 2 months? Intelligent brain, has the United States been courting death recently? Captain, I have detected radiation from large-scale explosions near some of their secret military bases. After hacking into their monitoring satellites, I found that they are developing a large number of new weapons. Hehe, it seems that those old Americans are still not giving up. They must be vigorously developing those garbage level 2 civilization weapons. I'm just waiting for you to make the first move, and I can legitimately ask for materials. Ha ha ha. Intelligent brain, let the frigates on the Moon 1 mothership be ready at all times. This time, I'm going to make a big score. A few more days passed, and the negotiation on the mining rights of African iron ore mines, led by Yangtze, was held in Singapore, Southeast Asia. The reason for choosing here was because Singapore was a relatively neutral country. The participating countries included Yangtze, the United States, the White Bear Country, England, France, Germany, and other countries. However, in order to get a share of the pie, the Stick Country, India, Sakura Country in Asia, and Israel and Igbos from the Middle East all came. These countries are relatively technologically advanced, and basically know that the solar crisis is coming, and they are all here to divide the materials. Only those African countries that provide iron ore mines seem to be kept in the dark. They are very happy that their iron ore mines can be contested by so many countries. However, even if these countries know about the future doomsday, they have no ability to protect the iron ore mines. This world has always been a jungle where the weak are prey to the strong. If you are not strong, you will be beaten. Why has Yangtze vigorously developed its military in the past few decades? It was because they were once beaten and afraid. Any of the Western powers could come and get a share of the pie. To this day, there are still many cultural relics in the museums of the Western powers. And now it's Yangtze's turn to stand at the top of the world. Just as the strongest countries on Earth were fighting inextricably for the world's largest iron ore mine. Far away in the M36 starfield of the Orion Arm, 270 light-years away, on Messeret, in the Messeret star system. Inside a very sci-fi palace-style building, a group of Messeret people were having a meeting. They look very similar to Earthlings, except that their ears are more pointed, like elves, but overall they are very similar to Earthlings. A man wearing a golden color, similar to a swallowtail coat, stood up and reported. General Sola, some time ago, our interstellar quantum receiver received a quantum signal from 270 light-years away. Chapter 80. The words of the man in the gold tuxedo immediately attracted the attention of everyone in the palace. He cleared his throat and continued, "This signal was sent by our exploration spacecraft. The information shows that there is a habitable planet suitable for the human race. The local natives only have a civilization level of 0.68. The planet's diameter is larger than our Messiras star. If we occupy it and register it with the Interstellar Federation, it can serve as our colony or be sold to those interstellar nomadic civilizations whose home worlds have been destroyed. According to the returned information, this planet has a population of over 8 billion humans, with a strong labor force and abundant natural resources. It is a very valuable planet, conservatively estimated to be worth at least 10 billion galaxy credits." Hearing this number, the other Messiras stars in the palace widened their eyes. 10 billion galaxy credits is not a small amount. This is the universal currency among all the planets registered in the Interstellar Federation within 100,000 light-years of the entire galaxy. Many Level 2 civilization planets have an annual GDP of only 2 to 3 billion galaxy credits. If this planet is colonized or sold, it is equivalent to 3 years of their GDP. General Sola, sitting in the main seat, stroked his chin. His pointed ears seemed to move, swaying left and right. After thinking for a moment, General Sola directly made a decision. "Good, I just thought that Cecilia Star, a Level 2 civilization planet in our neighboring M37 star field, has a star that has become a red giant. In a few hundred years, their planet will no longer be suitable for the human race to survive. We can sell this planet to them. Given their current situation, it's not too much to ask for 20 billion galaxy credits, right?" Immediately, the other Messiras stars in the palace burst into laughter. This was simply robbery. "Then, General Sola, I will dispatch a colonial fleet to occupy that planet called Earth." "Good, I'll leave this matter to you. I will use quantum communication to contact the exploration ship that is currently on Earth and have it prepare. Earth, Zhongcheng, Yangzia, Jinjiang Shan Shui Villa." Chen Yu was awakened early in the morning by the AI. "Captain, something bad is happening." Chen Yu was lying on the smooth belly of Xiao Jiazi, which was soft and elastic, making him extremely comfortable. Hearing the AI's voice in his mind, Chen Yu opened his eyes drowsily. "What's wrong again? The sky isn't falling." Just now, the number 1 mothership on the moon detected an alien quantum communication signal sent to Earth from 270 light-years away. There is a high probability that it is. If so, it is really confirmed that Earth has been exposed, and the other party is likely a civilization between level 2 and 3. Why didn't you intercept their quantum communication signal? Captain, you only have the basic captain permissions for the spaceship. You do not have the ability to intercept quantum communication. Quantum communication is based on the unclonability and uncertainty principle of quantum states for communication. To intercept or monitor it, you need at least level 5 civilization technology, and you currently only have access to the spaceship technology library within level 3 civilization. Chen Yu was speechless. If those alien civilizations send a fleet to colonize Earth, can we defeat them? You still have time to prepare. Generally, level 2 to 3 civilization spaceships travel in the universe at a maximum speed of 300 times the speed of light. This planet is 270 light-years away from us, so they will arrive in at least 10 months. It seems that I must quickly integrate global resources, build shelter bases, and build Earth's interstellar warship fleet. I will make those aliens come and never return. With your current permissions within the level 3 civilization in the technology library, there are a large number of level 3 civilization interstellar warship design blueprints. According to the alien spaceship wreckage left on Earth, the other party's strength is likely only at the mid-level of level 2 civilization. Even after 10,000 years, it is impossible for them to reach level 3 civilization. Therefore, the level 3 civilization warships you build can easily defeat their warships. Good, there are still 10 months? I'm looking forward to it. I haven't fought aliens before. Southeast Asia, Singapore. Negotiations for the mining rights of the world's largest iron ore mine have reached a stalemate. Yangzia, America, and the White Bear Country, the 3 nuclear superpowers, are unwilling to show weakness. As a result, the leader of the White Bear Country, President P, bluntly stated that he would use nuclear weapons. He also made the shocking statement that if the world no longer had the White Bear Country, then the whole world would have no need to exist. This directly led to the suspension of negotiations, and all major countries sought assistance from their motherlands. Yangtze's 3 aircraft carriers, carrying the latest J-20 carrier-based aircraft and Buell-fired combat aircraft, headed straight for Southeast Asia. America has a total of 11 aircraft carrier battle groups, with 8 of them assembled in the Philippine Sea in Southeast Asia, and all fully armed. Although the White Bear country does not currently have an aircraft carrier, all nuclear missile silos in the country have entered a state of combat readiness. As for other countries, they have begun to take sides. Germany, England, France, the Stick country, and the Cherry Blossom country are of course following their father, America. Israel is also on the same side as America, while the major Middle Eastern country of Igbos supports Yangtze. Only India, the most populous country, cannot recognize reality. They decided to confront the whole world. They were already angry that they did not get the iron ore mining rights last time, and the Indians in the country are extremely confident. Eliminating the White Bear country in 1 month, pacifying Yangtze in 3 months, and solving America in 5 months are their slogans. Just as the situation was tense, a secret American fleet quietly penetrated the Pacific Ocean and headed straight for Asia. This fleet consists of America's remaining 3 largest aircraft carriers. The fleet is equipped with weapons developed by America using alien technology. There are also thousands of genetically modified warriors, all wearing exoskeletal combat mechs made with alien technology. Ordinary large-caliber and anti-material gathering weapons are difficult to harm them. The mechs also have laser weapons, which can be said to increase their combat power by more than 10 times. The source of America's full confidence this time is that in the rear, in their military base, there is an alien spaceship parked. The wings have been repaired, this alien spaceship can already fly, and the airborne weapons have also been repaired. The large energy cannon it carries can destroy an aircraft carrier battle group with 1 shot. This time, America's main target is Yangtze's 3 aircraft carriers and Buell-fired combat aircraft. As long as all of Yangtze's maritime power is resolved, the iron ore mine will basically be in America's pocket. Of course, Chen Yu is also paying close attention to the situation at sea. He is going to prepare to blackmail America. AI, next, it's our time to perform. Chapter 81. In the southern waters of China, 3 Chinese aircraft carrier battle groups, led by the Liaoning aircraft carrier, carrying 10 Type 055 destroyers and dozens of frigates, were heading towards the Southeast Asian waters with great momentum. Their aim was to deter representatives from various countries and secure a favorable position for China in the negotiations for the African iron ore mines. Inside the command room of the Liaoning aircraft carrier, CAO Guangde and the captain were looking at the endless sea. General CAO, according to the images relayed by the satellite, there are 8 American aircraft carrier battle groups gathering in the Philippine Sea. We currently have no advantage. Li Qiuxiang, the captain of the Liaoning, said worriedly. CAO Guangde's eyes were deep as he looked at the 10 bullet-shaped combat aircraft on the deck of the Liaoning aircraft carrier. Old Li, although our number of aircraft carriers is not as many as the Americans, we have the bullet-shaped combat aircraft remanufactured by Huanyu Technology. The Americans dare not act rashly. But, the Americans have brought 8 aircraft carrier battle groups this time, with hundreds of warships. Can our bullet-shaped aircraft handle it? This is equivalent to 80% of the American naval power. Humph, you don't have to worry. With the destruction of the Sakura country fleet as a precedent, the Americans will not mess around. We must take the iron ore mine. Li Qiuxiang didn't say anything else. This time it was indeed very risky, and it was also a full mobilization of the Chinese Navy, which was of great importance. 2 days later, the 3 Chinese aircraft carrier groups arrived in Southeast Asia, and the 8 American aircraft carrier battle groups also assembled in Southeast Asia. The negotiations entered a feverish stage. Even the White Bear country softened. Their previous talk of using nuclear weapons was just a slip of the tongue. They didn't dare to really use nuclear bombs. In the end, President P conceded, willing to voluntarily reduce the proportion of his country's mining, from the previous 30% to 15%. Countries such as England, France, Germany, and other American vassal states, united one after another, only asking to get 10% of the mining rights. India, the most populous country, clamored to replace the White Bear country and take 30% of the mining rights, but was ignored by all countries. China and the United States simply didn't take this jumping clown seriously. This made India furious. They were closest to Southeast Asia and directly launched their only aircraft carrier, the Vikrant, which had been patched up. However, before it even reached Southeast Asia, it broke down halfway due to a gas turbine failure. In the end, only China and the United States, the two superpowers, were competing for the iron ore mine. Chen Yu, aboard a landing ship, was already waiting in geosynchronous orbit above Singapore. The main thing was to wait for the United States to make the first move, and then he could launch a heavy counterattack and get them to sign a compensation agreement. Let the United States and its vassal states also taste the feeling of signing treaties that humiliated the nation and forfeited its sovereignty. Thinking of 100 years ago, these countries came to China to burn, kill, and loot, and then demanded compensation from us and signed a series of unequal treaties. Now, let China also be a great power. Li Zhenfeng, Minister of the Chinese Ministry of Economy, sat in the main seat of the Chinese negotiating team. Opposite him was the American negotiating team led by the American Secretary of Commerce, Humphreys. Humphreys handed over a document and said to Li Zhenfeng, "Minister Li, this is the exclusive iron ore mining rights agreement that we have re-signed with the 6 countries surrounding the iron ore mine. The contracts you signed before have all been invalidated. I think China should abide by the spirit of the contract, right?" Li Zhenfeng took the document, glanced at it a few times, slammed it heavily on the table, and said sternly, "Mr. Humphreys, you really have good methods. You actually threatened these small countries to sign exclusive contracts with you. Do you think the rules of the world are still dictated by the United States?" Minister Li criticized sternly, but Humphreys was very confident this time. They already had a large number of alien weapons as their backing. This time, they were going to use tough methods to take all the iron ore mines. No other country would get a share. "Minister Li, we are no longer negotiating with you. We are notifying you, China, that all mining rights for these iron ore mines belong to the United States. As for the previous contract breach fines, we will compensate you." The breach fine was only a few tens of billions of dollars, which was completely incomparable to the iron ore mine. This was equivalent to the United States blatantly robbing. "Heh, the things of my China are not something you can take as you please, Mr. Humphreys. I don't know where your confidence comes from. If you insist on forcibly taking away the mining rights, our Chinese Navy will not agree." Humphreys spread his hands. "In that case, then our negotiations have broken down." Li Zhenfeng looked at Humphreys' confident appearance and felt a belly full of anger. The meeting ended, and the American representatives left one after another, leaving only the Chinese representatives. "Minister, what should we do now?" The deputy minister next to him asked Li Zhenfeng. Li Zhenfeng sighed and said, "The United States' attitude is so tough this time that it is basically impossible to continue negotiations. Increase the troops stationed in Africa to protect our mining team and transport ships. I don't believe the United States will really dare to attack our people." Chen Yu waited for a few days in the landing ship above the equator of Southeast Asia and suddenly received a notification from the AI. "Captain, there is a problem with the African iron ore mine. The Chinese mining team has been severely hit, and several Chinese transport ships have also been sunk." Chen Yu frowned immediately. "Has the United States finally made its move? Then don't blame me for being rude. Captain, what I want to tell you is that this time the United States used advanced weapons of a level 2 civilization, almost devastatingly, severely damaging the Chinese troops stationed at the iron ore mine. Okay, we will go to Africa immediately. I want to see how strong the level 2 civilization weapons of the United States are." Just after Chen Yu finished talking to the AI, CAO Guang's call came in immediately. "Chen Yu, something happened." Hearing General CAO say this, Chen Yu basically guessed what the other party was going to say. "General CAO, did the United States make a move?" "How do you know?" "This time, several of our large cargo ships transporting iron ore were sunk by mysterious weapons. We suspect it was done by the United States. Also, our troops stationed around the iron ore mine were attacked by something similar to high-tech mecha, and our troops have no power to fight back. Currently, we have suffered heavy losses. Also, the United States has developed equipment similar to our bullet-shaped aircraft. We can't get any advantage now." "General CAO, I know. I am now rushing to the African iron ore mine. Leave the next thing to me. Chen Yu, do you have a way to deal with them? They have dispatched several aircraft carrier battle groups." "General CAO, don't worry, I will take back everything that belongs to our China. I will also make them compensate us. Just watch." Chapter 82. Chen Yu controlled the landing craft, heading straight for the African iron ore mine. He sat in the command room chair, connecting to the AI. AI, it's time to show our hand. Send all 30 frigates from Mothership 1 to Earth. I'm done hiding, I'm laying it all out. I'm going to dominate the world. Affirmative, Captain. The frigates have been deployed and will arrive on Earth in 10 minutes. Chen Yu intentionally slowed down the landing craft. 10 minutes later, 30 black dots pierced the atmosphere. They quickly gathered behind Chen Yu's landing craft, and a fleet composed of alien spaceships formally took shape. These frigates were small combat spaceships responsible for general protection duties on Mothership 1, with a length of about 50 meters. Slightly larger than Chen Yu's landing craft, their appearance was very sci-fi. After all, they were combat spaceships from a level 7 civilization, and their strength should not be underestimated. Now, Chen Yu wasn't pretending anymore. A total of 31 spaceships, without activating stealth mode, headed straight for Africa in a mighty formation. At that moment, near the African iron ore mine, the United States had established a new military base. Inside the base's command room, Humphreys was listening to the base commander's report. Secretary, our gene-modified mecha warriors are invincible. The Yangtze garrison in Africa has been completely suppressed by us and has now retreated to the port, waiting for their ships to come and transport the people back. After that, this iron ore mine will belong entirely to us. Good, ha ha ha. The Yangtze Navy is weak and compared to our United States. Relying solely on those 10 bullet-head aircraft, they are now suppressed by our flying machines. I'd like to see what other cards they have up their sleeves. In the Indian Ocean region, the Yangtze Liaoning carrier-led 3-aircraft carrier group was confronting the United States 8-aircraft carrier group. Inside the Liaoning aircraft carrier's command room, they received a communication request from the opposing USS Vincent. General CAO, Captain Lee, we have received a communication request from the United States. Do we connect? CAO Guang's eyes widened in anger, and he shouted, "Connect it for me." Esteemed General CAO, I am Michael, Captain of the USS Vincent. Your military base at the iron ore mine has been destroyed by us. Your soldiers are gathered at the northern port of the mine. We agree to let you come and take your soldiers away. From now on, do not come to Africa with designs on the iron ore mine, otherwise, your soldiers will all be annihilated. CAO Guang clenched his fist tightly. The United States was simply shameless. Mr. Michael, do you really intend to seize by force, violate the agreement, and monopolize the iron ore mine? General CAO, why do you say that? We have re-signed a mining agreement with 6 African countries. How can you say we are seizing by force? You parked your aircraft carriers at their doorstep. If they didn't sign the agreement, you would launch missiles. Which of these third world countries could withstand your attacks? General CAO, you are slandering the United States. We have always advocated freedom and peace. We did not force them. CAO Guang gritted his back teeth so hard they almost shattered. These American devils were simply shameless. Li Qiuxiang whispered a suggestion to CAO Guang. General CAO, let's first follow what they say and evacuate our stationed troops, ensuring the safety of our garrison soldiers first. CAO Guang only felt very aggrieved. The United States had somehow acquired so many secret weapons. There were gene-modified warriors wearing ultra-strong alloy mecha, and flying machines with speed and firepower comparable to bullet heads. As well as the mysterious weapon that destroyed several Yangtze 100,000-ton freighters. To this day, Yangtze does not know what destroyed those freighters. All right, Mr. Michael, please allow one of our aircraft carriers to go to the offshore area near the mine. We will pick up our soldiers and leave. Ha ha ha, General CAO is wise. Then I hope you will not come to Africa to make trouble again. After ending the call with Michael, CAO Guang was furious in the command room and smashed his teacup. Bastards, Yangtze spent many years laying out plans in Africa, pouring huge efforts into supporting the African economy. I didn't expect the United States to steal the fruits of our labor. I'm not reconciled. Li Qiuxiang frowned as he looked at CAO Guang. He also felt very aggrieved, but now their strength was not as strong as theirs, and they lacked confidence in doing things. Just as CAO Guang was raging, the satellite phone rang. He picked it up and saw that it was Chen Yu calling. CAO Guang's angry expression immediately turned to joy. Hello, Chen Yu, have you arrived? General CAO, I have arrived. Please step out onto the deck and look up. Cao Guang took the phone and quickly walked out of the command room to the aircraft carrier's deck. Li Qiuxiang also hurriedly followed. Cao Guang looked up at the sky and saw a shocking scene that he had never seen in his life. General Cao, these things flying in the sky, what are they? Cao Guang's eyes shone. He was actually seeing them for the first time too. However, these were created by Chen Yu, and he said confidently. These are new types of war spaceships manufactured by our Yangzhou Patriotic Enterprise, Huanyu Technology. Li Qiuxiang stared with copper bell-like eyes, his expression changing from fear to excitement. General Cao, can these spaceships defeat those American flying machines? Ha ha ha, of course, they can. I believe in Chen Yu's strength. He never lets me down. Cao Guang remembered that some time ago, the entire navy of the Sakura country was wiped out overnight. At that time, he was guessing how Chen Yu did it. It was definitely impossible to do it with just bullet-head combat aircraft. So, Chen Yu also had this kind of cool-looking spaceship in his hand. Its combat power must be very strong. General Cao, I already know the situation here. You don't need to send an aircraft carrier to pick up our soldiers stationed there, because they can now retake the entire iron ore mine. Chen Yu, this time the United States has somehow obtained many secret weapons. Their gene-modified warriors have put on a kind of super high-strength alloy mecha. Our base was severely damaged by a dozen such mecha warriors. It doesn't matter, it's a small matter. Leave it to me. After ending the call with Cao Guang, Chen Yu looked at the sea ahead. The United States 8 aircraft carrier group was ahead. Hehe, let's take these 8 aircraft carrier groups as an appetizer first. Advance. 31 spaceships disappeared in place at an incredible speed. Cao Guang and Li Qiuxiang on the sea were shocked. Wow, so fast, they disappeared almost in the blink of an eye. Chen Yu, we are all counting on you. Chapter 83. 31 of Chen Yu's alien spaceships arrived in the waters near the iron ore field in an instant. Here, 8 American aircraft carrier battle groups were gathered, deterring countries around the world that wanted to compete for the iron ore field. Chen Yu's 31 spaceships flew very low and did not use optical or radar stealth, so they were quickly discovered by the American aircraft carriers. In the command room of the USS Vinson, a radar operator exclaimed. After looking at the display, he went to the glass window and looked at the distant sky. Sure enough, a row of unidentified flying objects was floating above. Mikhail widened his eyes and said in disbelief. What the hell is that? What the hell are those things? The 31 alien spaceships slowly approached the American aircraft carrier group. Soldiers and captains on the aircraft carrier group stood on the deck, looking in disbelief at the 31 sci-fi-looking spaceships in the sky. Mikhail instructed the communications officer. Send a radio call request to the other side, on all frequencies. The communications soldier obeyed and immediately aimed the antenna at the unidentified flying objects, sending a call request. Inside the landing ship's command room. Captain, the USS Vinson is requesting to speak with you. Do you want to connect? Connect it. Let's hear what they have to say. Okay, connected. Then a tense voice sounded from the other side. Why you hello? I am Rear Admiral Mikhail, captain of the American aircraft carrier USS Vinson. May I ask which country's air force you belong to? I am Chen Yu. Just those 4 words sent a shock through Mikhail's heart. Of course, he had heard of Chen Yu's name. The bullet-head flying vehicle that had been developed earlier, which gave the United States a headache, was from his company, Huanyu Technology. Ah, you are Chen Yu. Then do you represent Yanxia to seize our iron ore field? Chen Yu was amused by Mikhail's words. Captain, first of all, I want to correct what you just said. This iron ore field was originally an inseparable property of my Yanxia. It was my Yanxia that first negotiated with our African brothers and signed a contract. You previously intervened and took away 30%, and now you are forcing our African brothers to sign unequal monopoly treaties. How can this iron ore field really become yours? Mr. Chen Yu, I don't understand what you are talking about. I am now sternly warning you to quickly fly your planes away from this sea area. The United States has taken over here. If you don't want to provoke a war, please leave quickly. Ha ha ha, war? You think I'm afraid? Humph, Mr. Chen Yu, your Yanxia would not dare to start a full-scale war with us. Your economy still heavily relies on the United States, as well as my allies. Furthermore, your military strength is far inferior to ours. Although I don't know what these dozens of flying vehicles of yours are, we also have weapons of mass destruction that you cannot comprehend. Please do not try to provoke the majesty of the United States. Chen Yu smiled faintly. This Mikhail was really confident. Then there's nothing to talk about. However, I can give you one last chance. Leave here yourselves and return the iron ore field to our Yanxia. I can spare all of your American Navy, otherwise, the fate of the Sakura country will be the fate of your United States. Mikhail was shocked. Although they had previously guessed that the annihilation of the Sakura country's navy overnight was done by Yanxia. But they never knew how Yanxia did it. Now Chen Yu admitted it himself. Mr. Chen, the Sakura country is a staunch dog of the United States. If you treat them like this, we, the dog owner, will certainly not stand idly by. Captain, you said that. Then we can only start a war. The communication was interrupted by Chen Yu. In the command room of the USS Vinson, Mikhail immediately ordered. Immediately lock onto the targets in the sky and use missiles to shoot them down for me. Yes, Captain. Instantly, the destroyers in the aircraft carrier battle group received the order. The missiles quickly locked onto the 31 alien spaceships in the sky. Captain, we have been locked on by missiles. The missiles' yield cannot cause damage to the spaceship for the time being. Heh, this is me standing here, letting you hit me, and you still can't kill me, haha. Suddenly, dozens of Aegis destroyers on the sea surface launched dozens of missiles, dragging long tails of flame, straight towards Chen Yu's 31 spaceships in the sky. Chen Yu did not take any defensive measures. Since these missiles could not harm his spaceships, he would let these short-sighted Americans see. Their weapons were useless against him, which would further deter these shameless Americans. Mikhail stared intently at the sky on the deck. Seeing dozens of Sidewinder air-to-air missiles rising from his fleet. Heading straight for the spaceships hovering in the sky, a ferocious smile appeared on his face. Haha, die! The missiles instantly hit the targets in the sky. Rumble! Rumble! Explosions sounded in the air, each missile accurately hitting its target. Ha ha ha, they didn't even try to dodge. Were they scared by my American missiles and forgot to run away? Mikhail laughed at the sky. However, his laughter gradually froze in mid-air, because the smoke from the explosion slowly dissipated. The image of the spaceships being shot down that he had imagined did not appear. Instead, they were still standing still in their original positions. It seemed that the explosion of the missiles was like setting off firecrackers on these spaceships. At this moment, the American soldiers on all the warships in the aircraft carrier group stared blankly at the strange scene in the sky. Mikhail was trembling all over at this moment. Those were dozens of powerful missiles. They were actually useless against these flying things. How hard must that shell be? Could it be? Mikhail immediately thought of some of the alien technology weapons they now possessed. Could it be that Chen Yu's spaceships were also built using alien technology? Mikhail immediately returned to the aircraft carrier's command room and instructed the communications soldier to immediately contact Humphreys at the base. He wanted to inform the other party of the situation here and ask them to send alien technology weapons to deal with Chen Yu's spaceships. The communications soldier quickly contacted the newly built American base in Africa. Please contact Minister Humphreys for me immediately. Captain Mikhail, I am Humphreys. Minister, we have encountered an intercept by flying vehicles led by Chen Yu of Huanyu Technology in the offshore area. The other party has 31 things similar to spaceships. Our missiles are ineffective against them. I suspect that the other party also used alien technology. Please quickly support us. What? It's that Chen Yu again? Did he come in person? He should be in those spaceships. Good, Chen Yu, you've finally come. This time we have alien technology weapons, and you won't escape. Humphreys knew that Chen Yu was the one who massacred President Biden and the high-level cabinet members of that administration. Now that they also possessed alien technology, they vowed to avenge Chen Yu. Chapter 84. Mikhail hung up the communication with Humphreys, looked at Chen Yu's 31 ships in the sky, and the corners of his mouth. Don't think that you are the only ones with alien technology weapons. The United States has cooperated with alien civilizations. Chen Yu, you and these ships are just waiting to die. Inside the landing ship's command room. Captain, the aircraft carrier group below has requested assistance from the American base at the iron ore mine. What do we do next? Oh. They've already requested assistance? Then let's collect some interest first. Sink half of the American aircraft carriers first. A frigate was seen, with high-energy laser weapons on both wings, aiming at the bottom and launching a salvo. Zzzzzzz. Mikhail saw several beams of white light shooting down from a spaceship, instantly hitting an aircraft carrier. The moment the white light hit the aircraft carrier, a violent explosion occurred. This is a kind of energy laser weapon, which will cause an energy explosion after contacting the target, and its power is comparable to a cruise missile. Although the aircraft carrier has strong combat power, it is because it carries carrier-based aircraft, frigates, etc. to form a unified combat force. But to attack an aircraft carrier alone, it is not much different from a freighter. In addition, the weapons used on Chen Yu's frigates are laser weapons, and the aircraft carrier's close-in defense guns and the surrounding aircraft carrier escorts cannot intercept them at all. A series of energy laser cannons accurately hit the aircraft carrier. A violent explosion resounded through the sky. Boom! Boom! The aircraft carrier was basically penetrated, leaving only the fate of slowly sinking. The laser turned its muzzle again and shot at another aircraft carrier next to it, and the same explosion continued to be staged. Mikhail's expression was extremely horrified, and he shouted at the communications soldier. Quickly contact all aircraft carriers to evacuate immediately. Evacuate, he is a lunatic, dare to fire on our aircraft carriers, this is provoking a full-scale war. Lunatic. The communications soldier immediately notified all warships. In fact, even if Mikhail did not notify, the captains on the other aircraft carriers were also quickly ordering the aircraft carriers to retreat. But an aircraft carrier weighs 100,000 tons at every turn. It is almost impossible to quickly maneuver and evacuate. What's more, Chen Yu's weapons are laser weapons, which arrive in an instant. These aircraft carriers are like fixed targets on the sea, allowing him to bombard them at will. Of course, the carrier-based aircraft on other aircraft carriers, F-35, F-22 fighters, quickly took off and began to bomb Chen Yu's ships in the air. Destroyers on the sea launched missiles one by one, as if they didn't cost money, soaring into the sky and shooting directly at the 31 ships. But Chen Yu didn't care about these missiles and the American carrier-based aircraft that took off. The missile equivalent they carry is not enough to pose any threat to the ship. This is a ship made with alien technology. The material of the outer shell alone is many years ahead of the Earth. Chen Yu's frigate is still firing laser energy cannons at the American aircraft carriers on the sea. Another aircraft carrier was destroyed and slowly sank, leaving densely packed American naval soldiers struggling in the water. The American stealth fighters, F-22 and F-35 fighters, which had just taken off, were precisely targeted by the precision laser cannons on Chen Yu's landing ship in the air, exploding into fireworks one after another in the air. Dozens of fighter jets were instantly killed in a matter of seconds. The Vincent aircraft carrier has not yet been destroyed. Mikhail saw the entire sea in a tragic state, and boundless fear arose in his heart. Seeing his own American Global 5th-generation stealth fighters F-35 and F-22 fighters in the air, being precisely targeted as if they were being chopped melons and vegetables. What kind of locking method is this? How strong are these ships? Mikhail was already trembling all over. This is too ruthless. He acts as soon as he says he will. As soon as he started, it was the most ruthless blow, directly sinking 4 American aircraft carriers. Mikhail roared at the communications soldier. Quickly launch a communication request to the ships in the sky. We can't watch Chen Yu continue to destroy our aircraft carriers. The reason why the United States can run rampant in the world and is known as the world's police is because they have strong overseas combat capabilities. Not only relying on military bases all over the world, the biggest reliance is actually these 11 aircraft carrier battle groups. If any country doesn't know what's good for them, they can just send 2 aircraft carriers over and they can subdue the other party. An aircraft carrier battle group is equipped with carrier-based aircraft and missiles, which can destroy a medium-sized country. Therefore, aircraft carriers have a very important position and role for the United States, and Mikhail cannot watch Chen Yu continue to destroy their aircraft carriers. The communications soldier quickly launched a communication request to Chen Yu's ship. Captain, the American aircraft carrier sent a communication request, should we connect? Okay, I really want to see now, is the captain's tone still as tough as before? Okay, the communication has been connected. Mikhail's shout quickly came from inside. Mr. Chen, please stop, Mr. Chen, please stop. What, Captain Cell Sun, aren't you very arrogant? Aren't you afraid of starting a war? Why are you asking me to stop now? Mikhail was speechless. I'm not called Captain Cell's son, I'm called Mikhail. Although he had cursed Chen Yu to death 10,000 times in his heart, he still softened his tone. Mr. Chen, please stop attacking our aircraft carriers. We have something to discuss. We don't want to start a war. Mikhail was also delaying time, letting the alien weapons in the base come to reinforce. Just when Mikhail didn't know how to appease Chen Yu, a group of densely packed aircraft were rapidly flying towards the aircraft carrier group from the rear. Captain, our reinforcements have arrived. The reinforcements sent by Minister Humphreys have arrived. Mikhail looked back, and sure enough, it was their newly developed combat aircraft. This thing can be compared with Yangtze's warhead aircraft. Even relying on the advantage in numbers, it has destroyed 7 of Yangtze's 10 combat aircraft. Chen Yu, have you seen it? Our American reinforcements have arrived. I can tell you clearly that our new combat aircraft uses alien technology and is more advanced than yours. Chapter 85. Chen Yu looked at the American aircraft coming to reinforce them, and couldn't help but smile. He chuckled, his tone playful. Oh! I didn't expect you to actually get your hands on that garbage technology, but in front of me, it's all useless junk. Junk? Heh, after you experience their power, I'll see if you can still laugh. Chen Yu ended the communication with Mikhail. AI, send a few frigates to take out these annoying flies. Yes, Captain. Subsequently, 3 frigates flew out of the formation from Chen Yu's fleet. They charged towards the dense swarm of American aircraft. Inside the American base at the iron ore mine, Humphreys watched the footage transmitted from the aircraft. Seeing the huge black smoke rising from the sea and the tragic scene, he slammed his fist on the table. Fuck! I didn't expect Chen Yu to actually dare to attack our aircraft carrier. Damn it, we've suffered too much this time. I want him dead. Aircraft, launch a full-scale attack on those things hovering in the sky. After Humphreys gave the order, a dense swarm of combat aircraft, numbering as many as 70 or 80, flew towards Chen Yu's ships. But when they were a few kilometers away, 3 ships appeared that looked even more futuristic than the complete alien ship they had obtained. Humphreys was dumbfounded when he saw the 3 frigates appearing on the screen. What is this? Could this also be an alien ship? Does Chen Yu have more alien ships than us? Humphreys was completely dumbfounded. He was still very discerning, unlike Mikhail, who was so unsophisticated. When he saw Chen Yu's 31 ships just now, he only thought they were ordinary aircraft. Just as Humphreys was astonished, beams of light shot out from Chen Yu's 3 frigates. Then the picture disappeared. At this moment, in the sky above the sea, 3 frigates were slaughtering the American combat aircraft. Just as easily as they had wiped out the American fighters before. In the face of absolute strength, even if these aircraft could reach a speed of Mach 10. With the help of the Level 7 alien civilization's precise locking system, no matter how fast you are, it's just a matter of a laser energy cannon. In just a few minutes, 70 or 80 American combat aircraft were all destroyed and fell into the sea like rain. Mikhail was stunned. He didn't see the scene he had been expecting, where his own combat aircraft annihilated Chen Yu's ships. Instead, he saw the American alien technology aircraft, which they were so proud of, being completely wiped out in a short period of time. Inside the American base at the iron ore mine, Humphreys was already anxious. It seemed that Chen Yu also possessed alien technology, even alien ships, so they, the Americans, might not be able to gain any advantage. He picked up the communicator and sent a request to the White House. The communication connected. I am Humphreys. We are currently under attack by Chen Yu in the waters near the African iron ore mine. He may possess alien ships. I request the use of the alien space-based weapon to strike Chen Yu's ships. At this moment, in the White House secret conference room, all the senior cabinet members were here. The White House had already been notified when Chen Yu appeared in the sky above the aircraft carrier group. Acting President Harrison was very shocked. In fact, all the senior American officials were very shocked. Could it be that Chen Yu, like them, also possessed alien ships? Mr. Trump, who was sitting on the side, said sarcastically. Rogers quickly replied. Everyone, listen to me. Alien ships are extremely rare. Like the complete alien ship we discovered, it is basically impossible to find a second one on Earth. If Chen Yu also discovered those ships, why didn't our ship's intelligence system detect them? Logically speaking, they all come from the same planet. If Chen Yu finds the ship and repairs it, our ship's intelligence system will definitely be able to contact the other ship, and even obtain control. So, it is obvious that Chen Yu's ships are all built by himself based on alien technology. Their combat power must not be as good as our real alien ships. After Roger's judgment, many senior American officials nodded in agreement. Harrison made a decision. Humphreys is asking us to use the space-based weapon built with alien technology. I will approve it immediately. No matter what, sinking our 4 aircraft carriers is already a never-ending feud with us Americans. Mr. Trump, the sugar bean, shook his head aside. As the biggest supporter of the next president, he has to wait for some time before he can take office. So now, he has no decision-making power for the time being. If he takes office, he may immediately stop the war and instead tend to use economic sanctions and other improper means to play dirty with Yangtze. During his last term, he played a trade war with Yangtze, making Yangtze suffer unspeakably in recent years. However, after the rise of universal technology, Yangtze's economy and status gradually reached their peak. Mr. Trump had long been displeased with this. He wanted to make Yangtze's economy regress again. After the White House order was issued, the American space-based weapons in space began to target the African Sea area. The American space-based weapons are in orbit directly above the Earth's equator. The location of the iron ore mine is also not far from the equator. The United States has 3 space-based weapon launchers on the equator. The nearest one happens to be over Africa, which can accurately strike Chen Yu's ships. This kind of space-based weapon is different from what Earth scientists imagined using physical attacks. This kind of space-based weapon has a nuclear fusion reactor, which is a conventional weapon of a level 2 civilization. It uses controllable nuclear energy and, after a series of transformations, obtains a high-energy quantum laser cannon. The laser diameter is as much as 1 meter. The reason why those 100,000-ton freighters in Yangtze were sunk for no reason before, and no one could find out who did it, was because of the American space-based weapons hidden in outer space. Targets hit by the laser will be heated to thousands of degrees Celsius in an instant. The surface of the Sun is only 6,000 degrees. Even the hardest materials on Earth will be instantly melted or even vaporized. At sea, the frigates that had just annihilated dozens of American combat aircraft returned to the formation. In the landing ship command room, the AI reminded Chen Yu. "Captain, a locking signal from outer space has been detected. Do you want to activate stealth mode?" "Oh ho! Could it be that the Americans have also arranged weapons in outer space?" Chapter 86. Based on the intrusion into their communication system, I investigated and found that this is a technology the United States obtained from extraterrestrial technology. It is a space-based weapon that mainly relies on emitting high-energy particle beams, which can instantly generate a temperature of 6,000 degrees Celsius. Although our spaceship's hull can withstand such high temperatures for a short period, to reduce unnecessary damage to the ship, I suggest activating stealth mode. They will be unable to lock onto us. Humph, I didn't expect it. The United States has actually developed such a powerful weapon in recent years. Actually, what Chen Yu couldn't guess was that although the United States had researched these powerful weapons for decades, it was only recently, after obtaining the underlying logic and calculation formulas of extraterrestrial technology, that they were able to manufacture them. For example, the controllable nuclear fusion technology in space-based weapons can be used for both the energy supply of underground bases and the energy source for such super weapons. This technology was once a technological breakthrough dreamed of by scientists around the world, which could bring a revolution to the Earth's energy. If the solar crisis arrives, with controllable nuclear fusion technology, even if people live 300 meters underground, they can still simulate the ecological environment of the past Earth. For example, artificial suns are based on controllable nuclear fusion technology. With sunlight and abundant water resources on Earth, humanity can continue to survive underground. This is the underlying support for the United States to build underground bases. Since the United States space-based weapons may affect our spaceship's hull, let's activate stealth mode. If the American bosses see that their powerful weapon cannot find its target, I wonder what they will feel. Ha ha ha. Okay, Captain, radar stealth mode has been activated. The United States space-based weapons mainly rely on radar locking, so Chen Yu doesn't need to activate optical stealth. At this moment, in the secret conference room of the White House in the United States, a call request rang, sent by the space-based weapons unit through the internal network. Madam President, we cannot lock onto the target. The opponent possesses radar stealth technology far exceeding our own. Instantly, everyone present was dumbfounded. This space-based weapon they developed was their trump card. Now that it has become blind, it is basically useless. Rogers took the special communicator and cursed angrily. You bunch of trash, didn't you see clearly? How can you not lock on? That's extraterrestrial technology. Mr. Secretary, we really cannot lock on. Rogers dejectedly put down the special communicator. Chen Yu must have cracked the stealth technology of the alien spaceship. Our current technology cannot lock onto them. It seems that we can only let our ultimate trump card debut. Everyone present gasped. What technology has Chen Yu mastered? Now it is actually forcing the United States to use its biggest trump card. Their trump card is of course that fully repaired real alien spaceship. According to the previous cooperation between Rogers and the Level 2 civilization's alien spaceship AI, the intelligence system provided the United States with the underlying logic and scientific formulas for developing alien weapons to help the United States dominate the world. The United States agreed to provide the spaceship with raw materials for the energy reactor and repair the spaceship. Now that the United States has encountered such a pervert as Chen Yu, it is almost impossible to dominate the world. Rogers can only turn to the Level 2 civilization's spaceship for help. He took out an alien communicator from his pocket. This can be used to communicate with the spaceship. Rogers pressed the call request, and instantly a communication connection was established with the Level 2 civilization spaceship. Mr. Rogers, how is your plan to dominate the world going? Intelligence system, we have encountered a powerful enemy. The opponent possesses technology from your spaceship, even more advanced than what you gave us. Currently, we have no way to deal with it. Impossible, with the current research and development level of you Earthlings, it would take at least 100 years to crack the technology in our spaceship wreckage. Inside Chen Yu's landing craft. Captain, I just detected that the intelligence system of the Level 2 civilization spaceship previously invaded the Earth's network again. It is investigating you. Oh. Interesting, interesting. A mere Level 2 civilization, I would really like to see what that spaceship looks like, whether it is as beautiful as my landing craft. In the secret conference room of the White House, the alien communicator in Rogers' hand made a sound. I just checked the information of Huanyu technology. The products they produce are only at the early level of Level 2 civilization. The underlying logic and formulas I gave you can create mid-Level 2 civilization weapons. Why can't you defeat the opponent? Rogers and a group of American leaders were silent. Forget it, you are too incompetent. Let me do it myself. After I annihilate Yoxia's Huanyu technology, you should dominate the Earth as soon as possible. The purpose of the Level 2 civilization intelligence system is to use the power of the United States to dominate the Earth before the arrival of the Mother Star Fleet. At that time, it can reduce a lot of workload for the Mother Star Fleet. Rogers and many American leaders were overjoyed. Sure enough, the aliens were standing on the side of their supreme United States. Ah, thank you so much, intelligence system. We await your triumphant return. After that, the communicator no longer made a sound. Rogers put away the communicator and looked at everyone present with a happy expression. Everyone has heard, right? The alien spaceship is also helping our United States. It will personally take action to eliminate Chen Yu's Huanyu technology. Our goal of dominating the world is not far away. Many American leaders fell into excitement and frenzy. If Huanyu technology is destroyed and Chen Yu is killed, Yoxia will have no threat. At that time, the United States, relying on these alien weapons, will be able to quickly sweep the Earth. At that time, all the resources on Earth will belong to their United States. They can build as many underground shelters as they want. With the support of alien energy technology, they can move the entire ecosystem underground and transfer all 300 million Americans to shelters. In this way, even if the solar crisis breaks out and the apocalypse comes, their Americans will be the only country that can all survive. At this moment, the American leaders are already fantasizing about these beautiful futures. As for plundering the world's resources to let all Americans survive, they don't care whether other countries live or die. In the secret military base of Area 51 in the United States, a huge underground hangar slowly opened, inside which was a spaceship with a length of 100 meters and a triangular shape. This is the Level 2 civilization spaceship that was repaired by the United States. At this moment, the spaceship is preparing to take off. It will personally annihilate Chen Yu's fleet. Chapter 87. The Level 2 Civilization's triangular spacecraft was rapidly speeding towards Africa at Mach 30 in the atmosphere. Because its speed was too fast, it generated friction with the air, resembling a meteor. This speed was basically similar to that of the Chang'e 6 return capsule. At this speed, it wouldn't even take half an hour to fly from America to Africa. At this moment, in the African Sea, inside the landing ship, the AI brain reminded Chen Yu. Captain, according to the detection satellites I hacked into, a Level 2 civilization spacecraft has just taken off from the American Area 51 military base and is currently flying towards our location at Mach 30. Chen Yu's expression turned stern, revealing curiosity. Oh, does America have the ability to repair alien spacecraft? Impossible. Even though America's technology is the best on Earth, it would take hundreds of years to repair a Level 2 civilization spacecraft. Then where did this alien spacecraft come from? It even took off from an American base and is now flying towards us. It must have ill intentions. According to my analysis, this Level 2 civilization spacecraft probably didn't suffer much damage when it crashed on Earth. Then, over a long period, its energy was depleted. It's possible that America only recently activated it and replenished the energy it needed. Chen Yu nodded, agreeing with the AI brain's analysis. No wonder America's high-tech weapons have been emerging one after another recently. Could it be that they activated this alien spacecraft and obtained the technology? It's highly possible. I suspect that this Level 2 civilization spacecraft has reached some kind of cooperation with America. According to the habits of higher civilizations when colonizing lower civilizations, many higher civilizations, in order to colonize a planet simply and quickly, will support the most powerful race or country on this planet and let them help themselves complete the rule of the planet. Then, these higher civilizations will eventually take everything. According to your statement, isn't America now a lackey of that Level 2 civilization? Yes, perhaps America itself doesn't even know. As expected of an imperialist country, once there is an opportunity to rule the world, they disregard everything and act as tools for others. However, they have encountered us. This plan is destined to fail. We'll just wait here, waiting for that Level 2 civilization alien spacecraft to arrive. I'm really looking forward to it. Chen Yu was confident that his 31 Level 7 civilization spacecraft, although all landing ships, were similar to ordinary frigates. But against a Level 2 civilization spacecraft, he had enough confidence to destroy the opponent. Chen Yu's spacecraft hovered in the sky, without making any movements. On the sea, there were still 4 aircraft carrier battle groups. Mike Hale on the Vincent aircraft carrier had just witnessed Chen Yu's spacecraft. The scene of them annihilating their 70 or 80 combat aircraft developed with alien technology. This almost scared Mike Hale into wetting his pants. Their prized alien weapons were still vulnerable in front of Chen Yu's spacecraft. Now the 4 aircraft carriers were below, not daring to move. He was afraid that as soon as they moved, Chen Yu's attack would come. You can also think so. That's just great. My America is indeed the representative of the people on Earth. Even aliens choose to cooperate with us. Mike Hale instantly felt a sense of pride. Look, the aliens have come, and they will only find them, the Americans, to cooperate with. About 20 minutes passed. Captain, that spacecraft is here. Humph, prepare for battle. Chen Yu's 31 spacecraft quickly adjusted their battle formation, collectively turning to face the direction from which the Level 2 civilization spacecraft was flying. On the sea, Mike Hale had already set up a high-definition live broadcast camera. He wanted to broadcast live to the White House high-level officials how the alien spacecraft would destroy Chen Yu's 30-plus aircraft. Mike Hale saw Chen Yu's 31 spacecraft in the sky turn their direction in the air, so he shouted to the filming soldier. They moved, is the lens aimed? Sir, I am professional, you believe me, I shoot very clearly. Good, it will be a great scene later. Mike Hale was very excited. This was an alien spacecraft coming to save their American Navy. Chen Yu stood in the command room, looking at the distant sky. Suddenly, a bright spot appeared there, probably the fire produced by the friction of the speed being too fast. Yo-ho! Is it finally here? Flying from the American mainland to here so quickly, its speed is comparable to my landing ship. Captain, I have calculated its speed, about Mach 30, the speed is just so-so. Compared to you, it is indeed so-so, I don't know what weapons it uses. I can roughly analyze the airborne weapons of this Level 2 civilization. If this is an attack ship, they may have high-energy laser cannons, the power is similar to the laser weapons on our frigates. When our spacecraft's shields are not activated, it will cause some trouble. If it is only an exploration ship, then at most it will only be equipped with ordinary laser cannons, which will have no effect on our spacecraft. We can easily destroy it. Chen Yu thought of the 2 quantum communications that the AI brain detected before, so he asked. AI brain, later, can you invade the intelligent system of that level 2 civilization spacecraft? I want to know where the quantum communication signals it sends are sent to, whether it really contacted its home star. This is a bit difficult, I need to crack the other party's system encryption code. Although the other party is only a level 2 civilization spacecraft, the encryption system in the universe is the most complex code. I need a certain amount of time, and the other party may physically isolate all signal reception when attacking us, but I have a way to invade his intelligent system. Oh. Tell me about it. That is to directly destroy the other party. As long as its intelligent control mainframe is not damaged, we can take it back and slowly crack it. It seems that it is impossible to take down this spacecraft unharmed. Soon, the level 2 civilization spacecraft on the horizon began to decelerate, and Chen Yu excitedly watched the black spot getting closer and closer. He was about to see the real appearance of the level 2 civilization spacecraft, and he was very excited. Chapter 88. Chen Yu stared at the level 2 civilization spaceship gradually approaching from the horizon. The intelligent brain had already simulated the identification signals of Chen Yu's 31 spaceships into ordinary radar signals that could be emitted by Earth's aircraft. Under the detection radar of the level 2 civilization spaceship, it looked as if 31 ordinary Earth airplanes were parked in the air. When it was only a dozen kilometers away from Chen Yu's spaceship, a beam of light shot out from the opposite side. The protective shield on Chen Yu's landing ship automatically activated. The beam of light seemed to hit a transparent glass cover, rippling with traces of ripples. Captain, the other party just launched an attack. According to the detection, the other party fired an ordinary laser. It can be basically determined that the other party is just a level 2 civilization exploration ship with very limited combat power. Hey, so it's so rubbish. I was expecting it to perform a little stronger. It turns out it can't even break my protective shield. Subsequently, dozens of lasers shot towards Chen Yu's 31 spaceships. This time, Chen Yu's frigates didn't even activate their protective shields. These ordinary laser cannons might be extremely lethal to Earth's airplanes and aircraft. But in front of Chen Yu's spaceships, it was like tickling. The laser cannons hit Chen Yu's spaceship, causing violent energy explosions around it. On the sea, Michael, watching the sky, was blinded by the bright light generated by the huge explosion. However, his expression was excited because it was Chen Yu's spaceship that was exploding. It must be that the alien spaceship hit Chen Yu's aircraft. Ha ha ha, great! Our alien spaceship is still powerful. Chen Yu is definitely dead this time. The cameraman in charge of the live broadcast kept the camera aimed at the sky. The scene of the alien spaceship attacking Chen Yu's 31 aircraft was broadcast live to the White House in real time. Inside the White House conference room, the high-level officials of the United States were watching the explosion scene being played on the huge screen. Success! Chen Yu's spaceship has been hit. So powerful, it is indeed an alien spaceship. As soon as it appeared, it launched an attack. The laser was too fast, instantly engulfing all of Chen Yu's spaceships. God bless America, Chen Yu is finally dead. Many high-level American officials couldn't help but cheer in excitement at this moment. Rogers also looked at the violently exploding scene in the sky with a sigh of relief. Ah, finally succeeded. This alien spaceship is simply too terrifying. Fortunately, it is on our side. Rogers also sighed lightly. Just when these high-level American officials were cheering, the explosion in the air gradually stopped, and suddenly a high-level American official pointed at the big screen and exclaimed, "Look, what are those?" The high-level American officials who were still high-fiving each other looked at the big screen in exclamation. Then, everyone was stunned. Even the camera lens of the filming trembled a few times, as if even the cameraman was shocked and couldn't believe it. How is this possible? Why are those things still there? Weren't they destroyed? What the fuck? The conference room that was still reveling just now is now filled with wailing. Rogers was dumbfounded. What is going on here? Could it be that the laser didn't hit just now? Impossible, the alien spaceship is so powerful, one laser cannon can destroy half a mountain. At this moment, at sea, Chen Yu quietly looked at the alien spaceship suspended opposite. Michael on the sea looked up at the sky, his mouth wide open, almost enough to stuff 2 duck eggs in. Who the hell can tell me, what just happened? Why is Chen Yu's aircraft still standing there after such a violent explosion? Shouldn't it be exploding and crashing? What's going on? Warning, warning, protective technology that does not belong to this civilization level has been detected. The spaceship's shipboard weapons cannot pose a threat to it. Evacuate immediately, evacuate immediately. The Level 2 civilization spaceship did not hesitate at all, quickly turned its head, and shot away into the distance. Chen Yu looked at the Level 2 civilization spaceship that turned around and ran away, with a playful expression. Damn, this is running away if you can't win. It's really decisive. Intelligent brain, send a few frigates to destroy this alien garbage spaceship and bring back the intelligent system host on the spaceship. Okay, Captain. Subsequently, only one frigate from Chen Yu's spaceship camp was dispatched and rushed towards the Level 2 spaceship. The speed was so fast, approaching Mach 50. It caught up with the Level 2 civilization spaceship in a very short time. The high-energy laser cannon on the frigate bombarded the Level 2 civilization spaceship. The ordinary exploration ship of the Level 2 civilization does not have a protective shield. Under the continuous attack of Chen Yu's frigate's laser cannon. In addition, the strength of the spaceship's outer shell material was not enough, and the spaceship began to explode violently. Rumble. Because the frigate only aimed at the Level 2 civilization spaceship, attacking the butt and wings. So this kind of explosion did not harm the intelligent system host of the Level 2 civilization spaceship. In the end, because the power unit of the Level 2 civilization spaceship was hit, it directly crashed into the sea. The frigate slowly stopped at the crash site of the Level 2 civilization spaceship, the bottom hatch opened, and several lizard-like robots jumped down. In just a few minutes, the lizard robot jumped out of the water and returned to the frigate relying on the small thruster on its back. However, one of the lizard robots had a black lump in the cargo hold of its abdomen. This is the intelligent system host of the Level 2 civilization spaceship, which was removed by the lizard robot. Captain, we have already obtained the intelligent host of that alien spaceship. As long as you give me some time, I can crack its encryption code and then find out the content of the previous 2 quantum communications. Okay. Now all the trump cards of the United States have been eliminated by us, it's time to settle the score with them. Michael on the aircraft carrier only saw one aircraft from Chen Yu's spaceship rushing in one direction. Then, not long after, there was a fire in that direction. In just a few minutes, Chen Yu's spaceship came back again. But the alien spaceship that came to rescue the US Navy was gone. What happened? In the White House conference room, everyone saw the scene of the alien spaceship escaping just now. I also saw a spaceship from Chen Yu's spaceship camp being dispatched and returning a few minutes later. What happened to that alien spaceship? All the high-level American officials were stunned. Rogers tremblingly took out the alien communicator from his arms. He didn't know why in his heart, there was always an unspeakable panic, a very bad feeling. Press the communication button. Intelligent system, are you still there? TZZZZZZZZ. Chapter 89. The communicator in Rogers' hand returned a burst of static, and he could no longer receive voice communication from the alien spaceship. Rogers slumped heavily into his chair, the communicator falling onto the table. Just as all the high-ranking American officials in the White House conference room were sinking into despair. A voice suddenly rang out from the alien communicator on the table. Hello, you despicable American bigwigs, you should have guessed who I am by now, right? Unfortunately, I have a message for you. The alien spaceship you sent has already been destroyed by me. I wonder if you have any other trump cards left. Bring them all out, I haven't had enough fun yet. Ha ha ha. After Chen Yu said this, the communication was cut off. Just now, Rogers had pressed the alien communication device, wanting to contact the Level 2 civilization spaceship. Unexpectedly, it was detected by the intelligent brain on Chen Yu's spaceship. This was not a quantum signal, only propagating within Earth, and the decryption technology was very simple. So Chen Yu had the intelligent brain directly invade, and he transmitted the words just now to the American conference room. Chen Yu's mocking voice still echoed in the White House conference room. These high-ranking American officials were all ashen-faced. Where did they have any trump cards now? Even the biggest trump card, the alien spaceship, had been solved by Chen Yu without any effort. What powerful weapon did Chen Yu possess? Could it be that his flying machines were even more powerful than alien spaceships? How was this possible? Acting President Harrison stood up and said in a somewhat trembling voice. What should we do now? Chen Yu seems to possess a great weapon that surpasses the combat power of alien spaceships. We are already powerless. Everyone was silent. Where did they know what to do? At this moment, Mr. Donald Trump, who was sitting in the corner, stood up and said. The facts are now before our eyes. This is all the good deed done by you warmongers. Before, we could still build underground shelters normally, but the efficiency was a bit slower. Now, Yangzia and Huanyu technology will definitely take the opportunity to seize most of the world's resources. Our future plans to build bases will become even more difficult. What we need to do now is to withdraw from Africa as soon as possible and shrink all our forces back to the American mainland. Yangzia is a country that does not like to invade other countries. As long as we don't offend them, they shouldn't do anything to us. Trump's thinking was actually too optimistic. Yangzia has loved peace since ancient times, but that doesn't mean Chen Yu can swallow his anger now. With a great weapon in hand, I don't eat beef. After solving the Level 2 civilization spaceship, Chen Yu controlled the spaceship and went straight to the Yangzia military base at the iron ore mine. There were still thousands of Yangzia garrison soldiers there, being threatened by those American cyborgs wearing mechs. Seeing the 31 spaceships leave, Mikhail breathed a sigh of relief, proving that he was safe. Chen Yu did not intend to sink their remaining 4 aircraft carriers as well. Soon, Chen Yu's spaceship arrived near the iron ore mine, the Yangzia military base. In the air, Chen Yu had already seen many traces of explosions below. Obviously, this place had been bombed. Because the evacuation was too urgent, some corpses of Yangzia soldiers could still be seen in the base. They should have been slaughtered by those American mech cyborgs. The landing craft flew at low altitude. Seeing the tragic scene in the base, a surge of anger rose in Chen Yu's heart. Damn it, damn Americans! I want you to pay 10 times over. Intelligent brain, detect how many of my Yangzia garrison soldiers were sacrificed this time. According to Yangzia military statistics, a total of 237 soldiers were sacrificed this time. Detect how many people are currently in the American military bases stationed in Africa. According to American military data, there are a total of 3,003 people in the American military bases stationed in Africa, including a mech cyborg unit of 100 people. Okay, that's about right. Let's go and annihilate them all. In another direction, in the American military base at the iron ore mine, Humphreys had just received news that the alien spaceship cooperating with the Americans had also been destroyed by Chen Yu's flying machines. Now the Americans had lost all their trump cards. The American soldiers who were evacuating in the base all saw the 31 spaceships appearing in the sky. What? What is that? Damn it! I'm going to shoot them down. Some unruly American soldiers picked up their Gatling guns and fired at the sky. But this kind of hot weapon could not form any danger to the shell of Chen Yu's spaceship. Suddenly, Chen Yu's voice rang out from the loudspeaker below the landing craft in mid-air, very loud, almost shattering the eardrums of the American soldiers in the base. Listen, you American devils below, you attacked my Yangzia military base. Today, you are sentenced to death. Any objections? If you don't speak, then that means there are no objections. Okay, then enjoy your trial. Then, the 31 spaceships in the air simultaneously fired small power single-point lasers downward. The high temperature instantly generated when the soldiers on the ground were hit by this laser would quickly vaporize the human body. Just like the laser guns in sci-fi movies, after hitting the human body, it would turn into a cloud of ashes, which looked extremely terrifying. The lasers poured down densely, each laser capable of blasting an American soldier. Humphreys, in the high platform command room, saw this tragic scene through the glass. Some soldiers were still wailing the moment before, and the next moment, a beam of light came down and they turned into flying ashes. Under this terrifying visual effect, the American soldiers running around felt endless despair in their hearts. The 100 mech cyborg warriors retaliated with their laser weapons. But their laser weapons could not even scratch the fur of Chen Yu's spaceship. Then, when they were shot by the lasers on the spaceship, they would be better off than ordinary mortal soldiers. However, it only took 3 lasers for those gene-modified warriors wearing heavy mechs to instantly turn into slag as well. The laser gun ports on the lower part of the 31 spaceships were densely packed, and beams of lasers fell down one after another. Each beam could reap the life of an American soldier. Every 3 beams could turn a mech cyborg into flying ashes. Humphreys picked up the communicator and quickly connected to the White House. Help! Help! Mayday! Mayday! Save me! Save me! I am Humphreys, the commander of the American iron ore mine in Africa. We are under attack by 31 unidentified flying objects. Their firepower is too strong. We are about to be completely annihilated. Request support, please. Boom. Chapter 90. Chen Yu's 31 spaceships were reaping a frantic harvest on the soldiers in the American base. Humphreys urgently requested assistance from the White House, but he didn't even finish his plea. A laser beam pierced through the glass and turned him into a pile of ionized dust. Inside the White House conference room in America, everyone heard Humphreys' hysterical cry for help just now. The high-ranking officials all knew about the 31 unidentified flying objects he mentioned, which were Chen Yu's spaceships. The American high-ranking officials were not afraid of Yang Jie, they were messengers of peace. But now, they were afraid of Chen Yu, he was simply a devil. He would attack 4 American aircraft carriers without warning and would not hesitate to annihilate all the soldiers in an American base. Humphrey's voice disappeared after a burst of explosions, and the entire American White House conference room fell into dead silence. Some high officials were numb, some were resentful, but most were apprehensive and fearful. Mr. Tang Nadu Trump stood up and angrily scolded Harrison and her new cabinet members. Harrison, you will be held responsible for this incident. You have caused the deaths of thousands of American soldiers and have also caused us to lose 4 aircraft carriers. You should be court-martialed. After Mr. Trump finished speaking, he flung his sleeves and left the conference room, obviously very angry and dissatisfied with Harrison's decision. Defense Secretary Schneider suggested, "Madam President, we have no choice now but to compromise with Yang Jie and Huanyu Technology. If they propose compensation, we must do our best to satisfy them and try to preserve the core sovereignty of our America." Schneider's words shocked these American high officials. America, known as the world's #1, was now going to be reduced to compensating other countries. This time, they were the biggest losers. Not only were thousands of soldiers killed, but even 4 aircraft carriers were sunk. This was simply the biggest blow America had ever suffered. Not only that, but they had suffered such great losses and still had to compensate others. America never imagined that more than 100 years ago, they joined the allied forces of 8 countries to invade Yang Jie, carrying out large-scale burning, killing, and looting. Now the tables have turned, and it's their turn to taste that feeling. After discussion, President Harrison announced with great pain, "In the name of the President, I announce a presidential order to fully meet any conditions of Yang Jie and Huanyu Technology, abandon the mining rights of the African iron ore mine, withdraw all military bases in Asia, and declare to the outside world that we will never enter Asia. Reduce tariffs on Yang Jie goods entering America by 50%, and prohibit sanctions against Yang Jie's high-tech enterprises such as Huayi Technology and Central Technology. Grant visa-free entry to Yang Jie residents, and notify the NATO military alliance to prohibit provoking countries that are friendly with Yang Jie, such as Yang Jie's good buddies Pakistan and Belarus." With the promulgation of this series of policies, America basically completely succumbed to Yang Jie. After Chen Yu annihilated the American base in the African iron ore mine, he returned to Zhongcheng. After returning to Zhongcheng, Chen Yu did nothing and just waited quietly. He knew that America would conduct compensation negotiations with Yang Jie because they were afraid that their homeland would be attacked and could only compromise. Sure enough, 3 days later, America promulgated a series of policies to show goodwill to Yang Jie. In the morning, Chen Yu was still in a dream, lying in Xiao Jiaz's warm embrace, feeling extremely comfortable. At this moment, the phone rang. Chen Yu, who was woken up, was very depressed and picked up the phone to answer. "Hello, who is it? So early?" Chen Yu didn't see who was calling and answered directly. "Chen Yu, it's me." Hearing that it was General Cao's voice, Chen Yu immediately became much more awake. Now that Cao Guangde was calling, he must be telling him about America's compensation matters. General Cao, so early, what's the matter?" "Oh, Chen Yu, you are really awesome this time. The chief personally issued an order to give you the highest honor internally. Basically, it can be said that Yang Jie is currently relying on Chen Yu's protection. As long as Chen Yu is here, Yang Jie is the world's #1. Chen Yu, the chief said that you have made the first contribution this time, and the country will fully satisfy all your requirements. Now, the American representatives have arrived in Yanjing and are discussing how to compensate us. Do you want to participate? Chen Yu was not interested in participating in these meetings between high-level officials. He currently only wanted enough materials to build an underground base and a home-class spaceship. When his home-class spaceship was built, he would be able to go to other planets in the solar system to mine and dig for materials, and he would not need the country's support at that time. After all, the country is now also vigorously building shelter bases to ensure that more Yangzia people can survive in the future. General CAO, you know what I lack now. You tell those American representatives that I will draw up a list of raw materials, totaling about 300 million tons of materials. You ask them to transport 3 million tons of these raw materials to Yangzia's Huanyu technology every day from the date the compensation treaty is signed, and the compensation can be completed in about 3 months. CAO Guangde was also extremely shocked when he heard the compensation Chen Yu was asking for. Chen Yu was so greedy. The reason why Chen Yu set this number for compensation was also because he had previously investigated the total amount of materials that America plundered from the world every day. However, only in the early stage, America transported the materials that had been plundered to the American mainland, so it would be relatively more. The amount will be greatly reduced in the later stage, and the compensation set by Chen Yu will almost empty out a large part of the materials that America had plundered before. Chen Yu, will your request cause America to turn against us? After all, these materials are too huge. Chen Yu sneered. It seemed that General CAO was still looking at America from his previous perspective. After all, Yangzia is a peace-loving country, and our high-level officials are all more compassionate. We will not be greedy for these countries, this is our Confucian culture of 5,000 years. But Chen Yu doesn't eat beef now, what he says is what he says. After the Shining Sword a few days ago, it can be said that Chen Yu can now ask America to do whatever he wants, and they will do it. If they don't obey, his spaceship can fly over the White House in minutes and teach them how to behave. Chen Yu even wanted to change a president, and America would have to follow his opinion. General CAO, just do as I say, America dares not object. Then, if you want to make any demands on America, you can make them as much as possible, don't hesitate. With Chen Yu's words, CAO Guangde also had more confidence. Okay, Chen Yu, I will put forward your request to the American representatives. After ending the call with CAO Guangde, Chen Yu connected to the intelligent brain in his mind. The intelligent system host obtained from the Level 2 civilization spaceship before had been taken back to the Moon No. 1 mothership by the frigate for cracking. He wanted to ask how the cracking progress was going. Intelligent brain, has the host of the Level 2 civilization spaceship been successfully cracked?